It's time for Dixie State University Athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3 KXDS Santa Clara. DSU Athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3 is brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer. We hear you. And now, it's time for DSU Athletics.
Welcome to Radio Dixie 91.3. I am your host, Martin Kelly. We are here for another Trailblazer Athletics game today with the Dixie State Trailblazers versus the Chadron State Eagles. Football game today. A lot on the line for both teams today. If Chadron wins, they keep their name in the conversation of the conference championship. If Dixie wins, they are still in the hunt. As I bring my man into today, who will be on this call with me today, Bikini Manu, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well today, Martin. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to see this game. This game's going to be a nail-biter today. Chadron State is no team to play lightly on.
I agree with you on that, looking at the stats and all that. Again, we have the pregame show here. We'll be with you here until noon, and then we'll get the call on between Chadron State Eagles and the Dixie State Trailblazers. Let's jump right into this pregame show. Mackie, 4-2 for Chadron State as they come into this game. 4-2 in the RMAC. They're tied for third in the conference right now. But we looked at their schedule. We looked at the standings. It is going to be a tight race until the end. They had a bye week last week. They're one of the few teams in RMAC not to have an outside conference game this season, so they had a bye week. The rest of their schedule is against RMAC competition. Their last game, Mackie, you and I watched the highlights on this one. This was a shootout, 65-62, a win over Adams State. Offensively and defensively, they put up numbers that you have never seen on a scoreboard. Can you agree with that?
I can agree. It's almost like a basketball game how high they score. It's crazy. You know, they both teams did really well, but Adams State came out. Or wait, no, Chadron won.
Yeah, Chadron won.
Chadron came up top by 3 points.
Just 3 points.
Wild.
In a game where they had 41 rushes, 261 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns. They had 12 catches through the air, 205 yards in the air, and 5 touchdowns. Offensively, we've looked at the stats for this team. The best player on their team right now is, of course, their quarterback, Dylan Host. He has played 6 games this season for 60% of his completed passes, for almost 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's in the conversation for the best player in the RMAC for this season so far. There are a couple other players in that conversation, but we looked at the film here, Mackie. Offensively, they run, they pass, they try to scheme everything as well as they can to throw everybody off on their game.
Definitely, they are definitely a great running team, you know, and they have a great core running back. They have a 3 running back crew with over 300 yards for the season for each of them, and you know their offensive line holds they block really well for them to be able to rush that well, and the quarterback, you know, he plays the whole game. He doesn't take a break, and he's started every game and he's finished every game.
I cannot agree more with that. We looked at it real quick. I watched the highlights on this team. This team can throw. This team can run. This team can go everywhere on the field, and it is scary. Defensive numbers against Adams State: they had 100 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 fumble. McKinney, they defensively, they're not the most polished team out there in the RMAC. There are a little bit other better teams defensively than them, but they know how to get to the ball. They know how to get to the quarterback. They know how to disrupt teams and put them in a situation where Chadron is going to take advantage of it and put them in their own position.
Yes, their defense is definitely, you know, they do really well. You know, they know how to play assignment football, and that's what they do. They don't have many guys that are just these outstanding defensive players, but as a unit, they're a force to be reckoned with because they're not that easy to score on. And it makes it hard when you have a tough defensive line and a tough linebacker core, and when the secondary is just locking down the receivers.
Well, let's jump right over to Dixie State numbers. 5-2 overall on their year, 5-1 in the RMAC. This team is This team is tied for second in the conference with Colorado State Pueblo. It's been a long time since Dixie State can say they're tied for something in a conference. Last game they won was not a clean post game. It was very sloppy on their end. They only won by 7 over Western Colorado, who came into the game winless last week, 0-6. Western Colorado drops to 0-7. Dixie State goes 5-2. Mackie, we looked at the numbers. they had 31 rushes and they had a total of -1 yards on the ground. We talked about this before we went on the air, and I showed you the numbers. It is ridiculous what happened with Dixie State last week. Obviously, Lawrence and CJ got their numbers. They combined for 83 yards, but Mike, Easton, and Trent had a total of negative 39 yards, and it cost them a total of a gain of 39 yards. It did not look good for Dixie State last week, did it?
No, definitely not. And, it definitely wasn't a game that we normally see, especially by CJ. Usually he's out there running hard. He's out there setting, doing 100+ yard games normally. That's what he does. But, the biggest problem we had last week was our offensive line weren't making those holes for the running backs or doing blocks enough to where the quarterbacks were able to, be able to rush when they wanted to rush. It's really the blocking that we need to step up on, or that Dixie State needs to step up on. I apologize. But, yeah, totally. This week, I hope it's a turnaround. But, yeah, CJ, I hope he does well today.
I hope he does well, too. Passing, they had 16 catches for 331 yards, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, the 2 players that stood out last week, Xavier Smith, who had 8 catches, 121 yards, and 1 touchdown, and DeJuan Dancer, who had the game-winning touchdown. He only had 2 catches for 90 yards and 1 touchdown. Forget about just the receivers. Xavier Smith, Casey Allison, DeJuan Dancer, and a lot of other guys on the team have been doing so well. Mackey, you've been following this team as far as I've been following it. Mike Sanders has come back, and he's played okay. Now, we've talked about this off the air a little bit. Is it good for this Dixie State team to keep flipping between all 3 quarterbacks, between Easton and Mike and Trent, and to try to throw the defense off, or is it hurting our own team to try to win more games?
In my personal opinion, this is not fact. In my personal opinion, I think that when you rotate too many quarterbacks through, the receivers don't really get to feel how that quarterback plays. And whenever they switch another quarterback, the receivers has to put in their mind that, we have this quarterback in. This is his tendencies. We have to adjust to that. And Mike Sanders, he's definitely a great passer. And as far as a scrambling quarterback, not really the best. And Trent Darms and Easton Smith, they know how to do that.
They can get away.
They're a dual threat quarterback, right. As opposed to Mike Sanders. He's like he's like Tom Brady type, where he sits in that pocket and he tries to look and adjust and find an open receiver. But as far as rotating the quarterbacks through, I honestly don't think that it's good to get a solid offense. You need one core quarterback and maybe sub in some guys, but there is no set number 1 quarterback yet.
Well, looking at this defense, also at their numbers of last week against Western Colorado, this team has 73 tackles, 7 sacks, 2 fumbles. McKinney, I'm going to call you McKinney and Mackey at the same time. I know a lot of people are like, we'll stick to one name. But when we looked at this defense all season long so far, this team is a bend but not break type defense. They get their numbers. They try to get as many sacks and try to force the other team to really be uncomfortable the whole game. What can Dixie State defense do this week to step up their numbers and step up to be the guy that's got to carry the team part of it, that's got to carry this team to the end?
Like I say every game, if you win the line of scrimmage, you win the game. Or control the line of scrimmage, you win the game. Defensive line needs to step up and do their assignment, and the ends have to contain outside. Don't let any bounce out rushes, and the tackles, the defensive line or inside tackles need to plug up those holes so that those linebackers don't have as many gaps to worry about. And once we do that, once we control the line of scrimmage, our defense is going to be on point. Our secondary is doing pretty well. They just need to keep doing lockdown defense, and if we do good coverage today and control the line of scrimmage, we're going to have a pretty good game.
Alrighty then. Players to watch for this game, obviously CJ Luongo, who's had 121 rushes, 565 yards, and 5 touchdowns for the Trailblazers. For the Eagles, it's definitely Dalton Holst, their quarterback. Again, 56% of his passes have been completed. He's almost had 1,500 yards through the air. He has 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Keys to the game for this team. Mac McKinney joined me on this one. Dixie State's got to get the running game going. Obviously, we talked about it a couple seconds ago. -1 yards total last game against Western Colorado. That cannot happen in this game. They have to get more than just 1 yard, and even -1 yard on the game.
Oh, definitely. And again, this comes up to the front for the offensive line. The offensive line needs to come in, and they need to secure that line of scrimmage. They need to be able to open those gaps so that J and whatever running back is in is able to run through. And then the pass blocking, they did decent pass blocking last week, which is why we were able to win through the air. And if they do well on up front for the offensive line, then we don't have anything to worry about because we can trust our receivers, we can trust our quarterbacks for the most part, and we could definitely trust the running backs because we got some bad boys on the offense running the ball for us.
For Mike Sanders, I think he's got to play through the whole game. He had 4 sacks, 8 quarterback hits last week. He's got to find a way to stay healthy. He's got to find a way to just stay in the pocket with trying to throw the ball and trying to complete passes. Next key moment is control your destiny. This team has to win out, McKinney. This team has to win out just to even get into the conference championship talks, and then possibly a playoff position where we might be thinking a little bit too far ahead of ourselves when it comes to that. But it is all in Dixie State hands from here on out, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Dixie State, they've had a decent season this year. I feel that when they play to their competition. So if they're playing a team that's better than them, they play to their level or better. And that's why they win those games. If they play a team that's not as good as them, that's like really sorry, like a Western College last week, I feel that they play down to their level. And the thing that we're really missing in Dixie State Trailblazer football is consistency in play. Because we had a great game against New Mexico Highlands, and I really haven't seen much of any crazy games, any crazy come-outs. The offensive line, that's really where we've been struggling all season. And for a quarterback to get sacked so many times, that shows the weakness we have up front. And I know that we have a few freshman offensive linemen, so they're still trying to learn the game. But in the end, consistency is the best. And I know that Dixie State's really good because when they have the skill level, they have the talent, they just need to play at 100% every time they play, every down.
I can't agree more. Let's get into our little game predictions. I got this game being really close. McKinney, we talked about your score off the air. You had it a little bit farther than I had it, but I have this game being 31-24 Dixie State. I have them going 6-2 on their record. McKinney, what is your game prediction? And be careful what you say on the air right now.
If I was a person that hadn't watched Dixie State games and I saw how their performances has been this season, I'll definitely say agree with you on your prediction for 31-24. But with what I hope and believe for Dixie State, I think that if both sides of the ball come out on their A game, that this is going to be a blowout game. If they all play sound football, assignment football, exactly how they know how to, because they definitely do have the skill level, like I said before, and they know how to play the game really well. And they have some mean athletes, possibly potential NFL prospects. You never know. But if they come out and they play on their A game, both sides of the ball, I feel that we're going to blow out Chadron State.
That's a very bold prediction, but I can agree with you. I can possibly agree with you if we see it in the game. We're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout here and be right back with a live coverage of Dixie State University versus Chadron State College.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. We are having live coverage of Dixie State University versus Chadron State College here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Obviously, we are going to get the live coverage of the game as soon as we can. Of course, we are waiting for Chadron State to give us the live feed of their game. But we'll give you starting lineups here real quick for Dixie State Quarterback will be Mike Sanders. Running back will be CJ Luongo. Wide receiver will be Dewan Dantzler and Casey Allison starting on the outsides. Tight end will be Kanero Yoshikawa. And then left tackle, left guard, center, and right guard. The O-line, left tackle will be Shane Bowe. Left guard will be Chris Grasso. Center will be Dylan Hall. Right guard will be Taya Tobolova. And right tackle will be Brandon Turner. Defensively for Dixie State, D-linemen will be Remington Kelly in the middle, Sebastian DiMartini, Anthony Yarbrough on the outside. Linebackers in the middle will be Malaki. On the outside, the two guys that are the meanest, toughest dudes on this team, Abraham Reinhart and Shiloh Pritchard. Obviously on the edges, covering them up, cornerback Darren Jones and Mike Jones, the two Jones brothers on that side. The free safety and strong safety. Free safety will be Trayvon Watson, and strong safety will be Elijah Isaiah. For Chadron State, starting lineups for them will be Dylan Holst at quarterback. Running back will be Kevin Coy Jr. Wide receiver will be Brandon Fulton, and Tavon Wright will be both their receivers on the outside. Tight end will be Baylor Hayes. Their left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. Left tackle will be Jared Markazik. Left guard will be Austin Rapp. Center will be Jake Jill. Right guard will be Adam Fullers, and right tackle will be Jake Harris. For their D-line on the inside will be Tavon Bray in the middle. Forcell Calder and Brandon Hopkins will be on the outside for them on the D-line. Middle linebackers, Merritt Crabtree will be in the middle, followed by Keon Johnson and Chase Thermos on the outside for both of them. Cornerbacks will be DeAndre Bartwell and Lane Jersid. And then free safety will be Tyrod Freyer, and strong safety will be Brian Sanchez. On the kickoff today, of course, he's been a long-time kicker and a PAT putter. He's missed about 6 PATs this season, which is not good considering we've needed those wins on our side, but definitely something that he's going to be working on later down the road in the season. Let's get it off here with the pending kickoff here as Chadron State Eagles will take on Dixie State Trailblazers here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
Let's go, Trailblazers.
AJ Yerkeson lines up and kicks a high-end kickoff, and it is a little bit short. It'll go to about the 20-yard line, and it was received at that point, and he'll be brought down at about the 25-yard line. Again, as Chadron State and Dixie State come out on here.
Dixie State defense comes out, and they look excited to play some football today.
Definitely look excited to play as Chadron State and Dixie State meet up at the middle of the field. Let's see what happens here. First down and 10 for Chadron State. They line up in the shotgun. Two receivers to his left. Dylan Holst is the quarterback. Kevin Coy Jr. is the running back. He motions over tight end to his left. Hands it off to Coy. He'll try to get up the middle. Throws a fake end around, and it is incomplete. It was completed at the 37-yard line. Great pass right there. A little end around flea flicker right there to throw it to the wide open receiver.
Man, those really tricked our defense. Thought it was a run play. Well, and we really bit on it, and that receiver was kind of open, and he tighter coverage on the corners.
Quick to the line here for Chadron State as they change their play at the end. Hoyce looking downfield will throw it to his receiver, and it'll be caught at about the 35-yard line, be taken down at the 33-yard line. He'll be taken down by Abraham Reinhart and Shiloh Pritchard on the edge.
Good coverage by the defensive secondary. Good job by Shiloh Pritchard and Abraham Reinhart, and really reading that play and being able to stop him and only allowing a 7-yard gain.
Stats coming up here in a few minutes after this play. Second down and 4 for Chadron State. Holst looks toward the sideline for a signal calls. He got him. Lines up in the shotgun with two receivers to his right and left. Hands it off to Coy. He'll go right up the middle. He'll go to about the 15 to the 20, and he'll be down at the 19-yard line. A gain of 14 yards on that play. Straight up the middle on that run.
And that was really great blocking by the Chadron State offensive line. They really made a big gap for that running back to just run right through. We just need to control that line of scrimmage. I'm going to be saying that all day.
First down and 10 coming up here for Chadron State as he has three receivers to his right. Dylan Holst lines up in the shotgun again, hands it off to his running back, Coy, and he'll get up the middle and he'll get a gain about 3 yards. Looking at Chadron State's numbers, they've allowed 38 points for their own and allowed 30 points on the opposite end.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
All right. Now, again, our defensive line, they're getting double teamed really, really hard right now, and it's causing those big gaps for them to be able to go through. But good job by our linebackers by filling up that gap and not allowing that much yardage to be gained.
Chadron State lines up with 3 receivers to his right. Dylan Host is the quarterback. Looking downfield, will throw a little quick end pass here. He will be complete, and it'll be down at about the 12-yard line as he's brought down again by Abraham Reinhardt and Alex Lilliard.
Man, great job by the defense. One thing that's really hard right now, Chadron State, they're doing those quick passes. Oh, looks like we got a player down. Looks like it's Wes Moyai.
We do got a player down, and it is Wes Moyai. We will take a 30-second timeout right here and be right back with more on Radio Dixie 91.3.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. Your score right now is 0-0. Chadron State is on the 12-yard line, pounding into the Dixie State defense right here. 12:54 left to go, and it's a 3rd down and 2 for Chadron State. Big 3rd down right here for them to gain some momentum to start the game off right here.
Wes Moyai got up from his injury and was able to walk off the field. Hopefully it's not too serious of an injury.
Hopefully not. 12:48 left to go. 3rd down and 2 for Chadron State. Host lines up with 2 receivers to his left. Takes the snap, hands the ball off to his running back. And he'll be met right at the line, but he get enough for the 1st down? It shows that he'll be just short. It's a possible 4th down and inches coming up for Chadron State.
And that is the type of defense we want to see by the Trailblazers. Great job by the defensive line. They were all getting double teamed, but they stuffed that line. They didn't allow anybody to come through and made it able for Abraham Reinhardt to come through and tackle for right at the line of scrimmage.
4th down and 1. Chadron State is going for it. Their numbers on the season going on 4th down. They are 5 for 9 with 55%. Dixie State allowing only 42% of their opponents on 4th down. Let's see what happens. Dylan Host throws a little quick screen to pass, and he'll get outside the numbers. He'll get to the corner of the end zone, and he'll be down at the 2-yard line.
Man, God, that was a good play by Chadron State. They did a little quick screen to their receiver. They had him coming right across the screen, and he was wide open. We thought it was going to be a run, but it wasn't. They got to the 2-yard line.
Colin Thermos on the reception there. Got away from Alex Lilliard there on the coverage, and it'll be 1st down and goal for Chadron State on the 2-yard line. Dylan Host lines up in a goal line situation here. Hands the ball off to his running back. He'll get straight up the middle, and he'll get meshed at about the 1-yard line. Stop there. Remington Kelly, Alex Lilliard, and Shiloh Pritchard there on the stop.
Man, that was a great goal line stand for for Dixie State defense. Sorry, I'm mumbling my words right now. But the defensive line was able to stuff those gaps like we want them to, and Shiloh Pritchard was able to come in and stop that run.
Kevin Coy Jr. trying to get as many as he could on that one. Got stuffed. Again, they line up in the goal line. Hands it off to Coy. He'll get up the middle, and he'll get into... No signal yet. Yes, it'll be a touchdown for Chadron State as they'll get on the board first. Kevin Coy Jr. with the 1-yard touchdown run straight up the middle. Ran over Shiloh Pritchard on that one. Make it 6-0, a pending PAT for Chadron State.
Looks like Chadron State's about to do yep, they're going for 2.
They're going on a little flea flicker here. He'll try to get to the pylon, and no, they say no, it will not be completed on that one. Did not see that coming as I was trying to hand it over to McKinney on the call. It'll be 6-0. Chadron State leads Dixie State with 11:03 left to go.
That's a really good job by Dixie State defense by being able to see that they're going to do that, go for 2. And the linebackers really came up and stopped that the 2-point conversion.
We'll stay on the coverage here. Of course, we'll look at some Chadron State numbers. Offensively, they have almost 1,200 yards on the run. They're averaging about 190 yards through on the game and 13 touchdowns. Passing numbers for them, they have about 1,500 yards, and they only gained 250 yards through the air with 15 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on that. We'll get more numbers on that. But also looking at Dixie State numbers, they scored 28 points per game, have about 1,100 yards on the run with 15 touchdowns there. They have 1,800 yards through the air, 250 yards per game, and 10 touchdowns. We'll get more numbers as we go along in the coverage here as Chadron State lines up to kick the kickoff right here.
Dixie State offense. Now I'm excited to see what they adjusted to and see how they do today.
Let's see how they can change up their game as the kickoff is away, and it is a booming kick. It'll be met at the 15-yard line. Isaiah Wooden will try to get to the 20. He will not get there. He'll get met at the 12-yard line as Dixie State will bring out their offense for this first time. Like we said in the starting lineups, Mike Sanders is your starting quarterback. Dwan Dantzler is your starting wide receiver. CJ Luongo out there for the running back. And the guy of the team, Xavier Smith, who got injured in the last game, will start in the slot for Dixie State as they come out here in the shotgun. First down and 10:56 left to go. Yakushawa motions over. Sanders takes a snap. He's looking downfield. Will throw it to the corner, and it'll be caught. It'll be caught at the 22-yard line by number 1, Casey Allison, who has added himself back into the starting lineup over the last couple games. He's had a couple injuries during the regular season so far.
The offensive line for the Trailblazers are looking a lot better on this first play. They're able to give time for Alex to be able to get that pass off.
Second down and 3. Xavier Smith motions over from the right to the left. Sanders takes a snap, hands it off to CJ. CJ will get up the middle and will get nothing on that one. He'll lose just about 1.5 yards. Make it 3rd down and 4 coming up for Dixie State.
Dixie State tried to run a little trap to the left. Unfortunately, there was a bunch of Chadron State guys to meet him in that gap. There was just way too many guys that came blitzing on that side for Chadron State. Made it unable for us to get any yardage for that rush.
Dixie State cannot do that this week. They had -1 yards in their last game. They got to get the running game going. Sanders will line up with 2 receivers to his right and 2 receivers to his left. Motions over CJ to his right. Takes a snap, fumbles the snap to begin with, throws it, and it was incomplete. He was looking for Casey Allison again. Sanders fumbled the snap as he got it, tried to get it away as quickly as he could, and Casey Allison cannot take it in.
So Trailblazers go 3 and out on this series. Not a good start, but they can still come back from it. That pass was actually a great pass, just the receiver wasn't able to catch it.
Josh Carlson comes in to punt. He has 7 punts last week in the win over Western State. Chadron State staying conservative on their coverage. Punt is away, and it is a booming kick. It'll be down at about the 35-yard line. And he'll be pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line. 18 was Jackson Dickerson, the return man on that one.
Josh Carlson's really helping us out this season by placing the ball deep down the field so that we're not trying to do a lot of stuff on defense to where they're on the 50 or past the 50-yard line already. Great job by Josh Carlson. Great kicks this season. Keep up the good work.
First down and 10 coming up for Chadron State. Dylan Holtz lines up with 2 receivers to his right and 2 receivers to his left. Kevin Coy Jr. is lined up in the backfield with him. Holtz looking, throws it to the corner of the end zone, corner of the field, and it was complete. It'll be gain of 6 yards on that one.
Dixie State defense doing a decent job today. Defensive line just needs to put more pressure on that offensive line. And let's go to the next play.
Let's go to the next play. Indeed, number 80 on that reception. Brandon Fullerton, the leading wide receiver on this team. 2nd down and 4 coming up for Brandon Holtz. Hands it off to Coy Jr., and he'll get met at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go there. Sebastian DiMartini right there to whop him up.
Great job by that defensive line by causing that pressure. Our defense line is really coming out strong today, and I hope that they're able to keep it up.
Again, we look at this team. This defense is a bend but not break. McKinney, we mentioned it so many times during this season. They know when to come out on top, and they know when to put the pressure on the quarterback.
Absolutely. You're correct about that.
3rd down and 4 coming up for Chadron State. Dylan Holtz lines up in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left and right. Kevin Coy Jr. lined up in the backfield with him. Passing, looking downfield. Hoyce throws it to to downfield, and it is incomplete. He had it for a moment there, and he dropped it.
Great pressure by the defensive line. Almost got sacked by DeMartini. DeMartini coming out strong today. Defensive line doing great up front, and great coverage by our corners and safeties.
Mike Jones on the coverage. Jackson Dickerson on the reception. Dropped it late as Chadron State will send out their punt team here for the first time today. 8:29 left to go here in the first quarter as Chadron State leads 6-0. Punt is away and is a booming kick. And it'll be fair catch at about the 4-yard line where we'll be down there where Dixie State will take over for their next drive.
This is a bad field position for us, but hopefully we're able to rush out of that area. We definitely want to keep it on the ground and not too much in the air because that gives time for Chadron to be able to sack us and put us even back further.
McKinney, what do Dixie State have to do on this drive? They have to get something going on this one. They cannot afford 2 3-and-out punts. They cannot afford that to put more pressure on their defense on that one.
They need a push up front for CJ to be able to pick up some great yardage.
Mike Sanders will motion over Yoshikawa to the left. Jump on the line there. Sanders throws a bomb, and it'll be incomplete. Was looking for DeJuan Dantzler at about the 23-yard line. Sanders threw about 6 yards over his head, not even anywhere near him on that one.
Good thing there was a flag on the play, I believe. I think I saw a flag thrown. It was offsides by the defense.
Yes, it will be offsides on defense. It'll make it 1st down and 5.
Awesome. This is beneficial for us. Hopefully we capitalize on this.
Number 53 for Chadron State, Kyle Temple, the defensive end, jumped a little bit early on that one. It'll be 1st down and 5 as Mike Sanders looks toward the sideline for signal call. CJ Luongo line up in the backfield with him. Sanders has 2 receivers to his right and 1 receiver to his left. 1st down and 5. Sanders looking to pass. We'll throw it, and it'll be incomplete. Was looking for Casey Allison again as the 3rd time Casey Allison has been targeted today so far.
Right now, Dixie State, I hope they see how the defensive line for Chadron State is lining up. They have really poor stances, making it to where they're not really explosive off the ball. So hopefully this is the advantage for the Trailblazers to be able to just control that line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 5. Mike Sanders has 3 receivers to his right. Takes a snap. He's looking downfield. Will throw it to Yoshikawa, and he'll get the 1st down. He'll be down at about the 19-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play for him right there.
Great job by that tight end, Yoshikawa. He was wide open on that play. Great blocking by the offensive line. They gave Alex so much time this one. Great job for Trailblazers all in all.
Mike Sanders will line up 1st down and 10 for Dixie State as McKinney is trying to get his way through calling for a color commentators. He keeps fumbling, but we'll get it right down. Mike Sanders lines up with 2 receivers to his right. Motions over Xavier Smith. Looking downfield. Sanders will throw the long ball down the field, and it is caught by Casey.
Woo!
No, DeJuan Dantzler. He'll be down at the 45-yard line. Great pass right there up the middle of the field.
Like I said before, the defensive line for Chadron State, they're in stances where they won't be explosive, and the offensive line is controlling them on every pass play. Great job by the Trailblazers.
DeJuan Dantzler just getting up the middle of the field. Had to come back for that ball, but it was a great thrown ball. We have an injured player on the field for Chadron State. It is number 1, DeAndre Bartwell. We'll be right back with a 30-second commercial here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. We have the live coverage of Dixie State Trailblazers versus the Chadron State Eagles. It is 6-0 right now for Chadron State College over Dixie State University with 7:36 left to go. It is a 1st down and 10 for Dixie State on their own 45-yard line as they are carting off number 31 again, DeAndre Bartwell, who was the injured player on the field. They're able to get him off the field on his own power as well.
Oh, great job by Dixie State offense by being composed and playing some great football tonight. Or this afternoon, I apologize.
And we've been having most of those games this season where they've been at night, so I don't blame you for that one right there. It gets a little confusing sometimes to call those games. Mike Sanders will call the first play, first down and 10. He'll throw the ball towards DeJuan Dancer to the sideline, and it will be incomplete. Make it second down and 10 coming up for Dixie State here.
One thing that Dixie State needs to keep doing is control that line of scrimmage.
Second down and 10 for Dixie State here. Sanders lines up with 3 receivers to his right, throws the ball to Xavier Smith. He'll be met at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. Wide receiver screen there, and it was nothing there.
That was a big hit on Xavier Smith. Looks like he may have hurt himself on that play.
Looks like he did. He is trying to get off the field. Will not get off the field on his own power as the training staff looks towards him. We will take another 30-second timeout right here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
Women now make up.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3. As we have live coverage of Chadron State College versus Dixie State University here on Radio Dixie 91.3 as the Chadron State Eagles lead Dixie State 6-0 early in the first quarter. It'll be third down and 10 coming up for Dixie State. 6:25 left to go in the game so far as they took off Xavier Smith off the field after an injury. And we have a timeout taken by Dixie State coming right out of the break here. We mentioned before Xavier Smith was injured in last week's game. He had a foot injury and was cleared by the doctors to play this week. I talked to him before the game. He said he felt pretty good. He thought he could play on it this week. Apparently he got injured again, and he'll be out for the remainder of this game.
He ran a screenplay, and he was looking at one defender, and he was looking to take him on, but then a defender came out of nowhere and hit him really hard, and that really caused him to shake him up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't make it to where he can't play next week, but let's just hope that he can heal up and do well, because he's one of our top receivers. Actually, he's our top receiver.
He is the top receiver.
And we definitely need him, and Trailblazers just need to come out strong and play hard right now.
What can Dixie State do, McKinney, on this third down and 10? Obviously, they're putting themselves in a hole right here after getting that long ball reception right there by DeJuan Dancer earlier.
I definitely say pass the ball right now for a third down. Pass the ball and get that first down.
Mike Sanders takes a snap, has 3 receivers to his right, looking downfield, scrambles outside the pocket, throws the ball deep, and it was complete by DeJuan Dancer again. He got away from the coverage, and it'll be brought down again. Was it enough for the first down? We're going to look.
It may be a little short.
They say fourth down right now. Yes, it'll be fourth down. Yes. But Dixie State is showing that they're going to go for it. What a throw right there by Mike Sanders. Flinging it into that small of a window right there. I just thought that ball was intercepted real quickly there.
Oh, we're going for it.
We are going for it. It'll be fourth down and 3 for Dixie State here. Xavier Smith checks back into the game after stepping away. Sanders in the shotgun, 3 receivers to his left. Takes a snap, throws it to Casey Allison, and he dropped it at the end. It'll be incomplete. Casey Allison, third drop of the day so far. What a chance for Dixie State to keep their drive alive right there.
Things that we wanted them to improve on this week, they did. The offensive line is doing some great blocking. Alex Sanders is throwing some great passes, but right now the receivers are having a tough time catching the ball.
That has got to get cleaned up as Chadron State will take over on their own 37-yard line here.
Oh, it looks like Wes Moyati's back in the game for defense.
Dylan Holmes has 2 receivers to his left and 2 receivers to his right. Kevin Coy Jr. line up to the left of him. Takes a snap. He's looking downfield. Will throw it to his receiver, and it was caught. But he'll be met at about the 44-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play.
Right now, Chadron State is really running those quick curl routes. And the receiver's really open, and that quarterback, I think he's almost completed. He's only missed 1 pass today. And so our coverage just needs to be on point right now.
Chad McKinley on the reception on that last play. Second down and 4 coming up here. As they'll hand the ball to Kevin Coy. He'll get met up straight up the middle, and lost the ball at the end. No, he'll say he was down there. Trayvon Watson was going to have the fumble right there. He got met right at the line of scrimmage. It looked like he wasn't down, but he was down, so that'll be down there. 3rd down and 4 coming up for Chadron State.
Man, great job by the defense up front. They stuffed those holes. Those linebackers were able to meet that running back at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 4 coming up here for Chadron State. Dylan Holst lines up in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his right and left. Takes a snap, hands it off to his running back. He'll meet Matt at the line of scrimmage. He'll be nowhere. Number 1, Elijah Meyer. Nowhere on that one, and Chadron State has a choice to make here. Will they punt it or will they go for it?
Great job by Tane Tuifua, linebacker. He came up and was able to make that tackle in the backfield. Great job by the defensive stop by the Dixie State Trailblazers.
Hey, you'll get a hang of it. It's hard to say some of the names on this team as Chadron State lines up for the punt yet again. It'll be their 2nd punt of the day. Dixie State showing they're bringing the pressure on this one. Will they get the block on this one? We will see in a minute. They bring the pressure. The kick is away, and it was a clean one there as Simpson will get away from it, and he'll mark it down at the 17-yard line right there.
Now, one thing for the Trailblazers is that they're coming off of a game last week, and Chadron State had a bye week. So since they had a bye week, that gave them 2 weeks to prepare, 2 weeks to recover with their body injuries. And, right now they're pretty much refreshed, 100%. And Dixie State's doing a pretty good job. Right now on offense, we hope that they push the ball and are able to score on this series.
I can't agree with you. I can agree with you on that one. Dixie State doesn't look totally tired as they had a dogfight last week against Western State where they only won by a touchdown thanks to DeJuan Dancer on his 83-yard reception there late in the game. Of course, Chadron State had the week off last week after their complete, utter gunslinging game against Adams State where they only won the game by 3 points, 65-62. They look kind of refreshed, but they also look a little bit too laid back as, defensively they're not getting the pressure they want, and offensively they're not clicking as well as they should be clicking, McKinney?
Oh, definitely not. We really hope that they can step it up, but we'll see what happens.
One little note that bring into this game, I think it brought up a lot. The reason why Dixie State's been on top, they're +8 in turnover margin. That is the first time in Dixie State history they've been plus margin in the turnover rate. They've been -10 for the last few seasons, giving up a lot of interceptions and not really getting the turnovers they want on defensively. McKinney, what has changed so far for this defense to go right from -10 to +8 in the turnover margin?
I think they're really clicking well, and so they're able to execute their assignments well, and we have better guys. And that's the truth. We got better athletes than before.
1st down and 10 as Mike Sanders hands it off to CJ Luongo up the upside. He'll get a gain of about 2 yards on that one, making 2nd down and 8. Coming up here for Dixie State. 3:30 left to go as Chadron State still leads this game 6-0. A good little run there, by Lawrence Starks, not CJ, but not the run that we were expecting from him.
No, not at all. You love those CJ Luongo runs that go deep down the field, and hopefully we get on this next play.
2nd down and 8 coming up for Dixie State. Again, they'll hand the ball off to Lawrence. No, they'll fake it, and Mike Sanders will throw it out to the end, and it'll be down at about the 29-yard line. Again, Yogi Shawa on the reception there. A good reception there by Dixie State.
Great job by Alex Sanders. Mike Sanders. I don't know why I said Alex Sanders. Great job on that pass.
1st down and 10, they hand the ball to CJ. He'll get about 2 yards on that one. As you were saying on that play there, McKinney.
Oh, yeah. So, Mike Sanders is really, right now, he's like, all right, which receiver is going to be reliable? And I keep messing up his name. Yoshikawa. Sorry. Yoshikawa, he's that receiver right now. He's stepping up, and hasn't dropped the ball yet.
Flag comes in late. Mike Sanders throws it to Casey Allison, and he'll catch it for the first time, and he'll get out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. as there was a jump on Chadron State. Will they add it to the end of the play? We're going to see here in a few minutes. But that is Casey Allison's second reception on the day. And it looks like Dixie State will decline the penalty and make it 3rd down and 1.
Again, our offensive line is doing very well today on the pass. Not allowing anybody to penetrate to get any sacks.
Connor Miller lines up in a Wildcat. He'll get up the middle of the field.
Nice.
Lined up there with Lawrence Starks. A great play right there by Dixie State to call that. Connor Miller having 2 touchdowns earlier in the season on a Wildcat when they went out to go play Black Hill State.
Oh, definitely. That was a perfect play to run to get that first down. We need first downs to get to that end zone, And great job by doing that. Wildcat, they executed that pretty well.
Mike Sanders comes back and checks in as the quarterback. It's Connor Miller, DeJuan Dantzler, and Casey Allison are his receivers. CJ Luongo line up in a pistol formation right behind him. Sanders takes a snap, fakes a handoff. Will throw it deep down the field, and it is caught by DeJuan Dantzler. He'll get away. He'll be down at about the 5-yard line.
Great job by the Dixie State Trailblazers. Offensive line is coming out so great today. The reason I'm emphasizing the offensive line is because they have not been doing well this season. And for them to give that much time for Mike Sanders to get that pass off is exactly what we need to win this game.
Second reception by DeJuan Dantzler today. His second 20-plus reception today, as he'll line up still on the field with Connor Miller and Casey Allison still at receivers. Lawrence Starks comes in as the running back. Great throw by Mike Sanders right there. He's had troubles trying to stay healthy all season, but again, you mentioned it, this O-line is starting to give him the coverage that he needs, as they'll take a quick timeout before the clock ran out. 56 seconds left to go in this first quarter here, as we'll stay on the coverage here. Chadron State still leads 6-0. McKinney, we're going to mention it all game, but I don't blame you for it. This O-line has been looking pretty good today. There's been no quarterback hits, no sacks so far given up by this O-line.
Definitely, our offensive line is controlling that line of scrimmage. The only bad thing right now is that Chadron State, their secondary and their linebackers, they make up for the weakness that they have up front. So although we're making great blocks, those linebackers are plugging those holes real fast and not allowing us to run well. But, offensive line, man, they are doing well today.
As we seen it last week, if the run game is not there, this team can still throw the ball. With Mike Sanders stepping up as the quarterback, again, we mentioned he had injuries earlier in the year. He possibly tore his ACL in fall practice. That led to Easton Smith and Trent Darms taking over as the quarterback responsibilities earlier. But he's come back in the last few games, and I've talked to some of the guys on the team, and you also have, McKinney. They say he's got the best arm on the team, but he just has problems staying healthy this season.
Definitely, it's just that bum knee that he's mentally overpowering right now.
1st down and 10 as Sanders motions over Miller, fakes a handoff, looking. Flag will come out. He'll throw it to Connor Miller. He'll go stretch to the end zone, and there will be a touchdown right now. Touchdown will possibly stand, as we'll get the call here. Let's see what the call is.
I think we might get a holding call.
Personal foul, face mask, number 58, offense.
No.
15-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Worse penalty than a holding call. It'll be a face mask against Dixie State, number 58.
And there was no way of hiding that one.
58, Brandon Turner, the left guard on the team. No way to hide that one at all. That was a clean call right there by the refs. It'll make it 1st down and goal, but a long goal. They'll be back at the 20-yard line. A long way to go for Dixie State to get points on the board. That takes away the touchdown there by Connor Miller. 1st down and goal. Again, DeJuan Dantzler has motioned himself over to the left. Sanders takes the call. Takes a snap. Looking downfield. Will throw it. And it'll be incomplete. Yoshikawa almost had it yet again for his 3rd reception of the day.
Man, this time one of the defensive linemen was able to penetrate, and Alex had to throw a quick pass. It wasn't a bad pass. Actually, Yoshikawa could have caught it. But if we have a better up front presence, then we'll be good on the passes downfield.
Mike Sanders It will be in at quarterback again, second down and goal. Hands the ball off to Lawrence. He'll get up the middle of the field, and he'll get to about the 16-yard line. We'll make it third down and goal from the 16-yard line here for Dixie State. That face mask call has pushed them back so far that it's going to take a miracle for them to get back the yardage they lost. But, again, you mentioned it. This O-line has been playing pretty well so far, huh, McKinney?
Oh, definitely. You know, they are beating Chadron State's defensive line, and I am very happy and very impressed.
Third down and goal. Mike Sanders has three receivers to his left. Lawrence Starks is lined up as the running back. He'll motion himself out to the right. Jump start. Someone jumped on the line. Was it? No. Nobody jump start. It's the end of the first quarter here. Wow. I'm looking at the wrong clock. Chadron State leads this game 6-0 over Dixie State University. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here and be right back with the start of the second quarter.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community
a second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. That's goodwill.org. This message brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 as Chadron State leads this game 6-0 over Dixie State University. We'll have the start of the second quarter right now as Dixie State is in a tough third down and goal. They're on their own 16-yard line after there was a personal foul, holding a face mask call on the line. They backed them up from the 3-yard line back to the 20-yard line. Mike Sanders is still at the quarterback. Casey Allison, Connor Miller, and Dewan Dancer are your receivers. With Yoshikawa, the tight end, and Lawrence Starks is still the running back. Sanders looks towards the sideline for signal calls. Yoshikawa motions himself over to the right. Let's see what Dixie State can do on this third down and goal. Sanders looking, throws it to the corner, and no one was there. Yoshikawa was the closest receiver. It'll be incomplete, and we will see if Dixie State brings out their kicking unit.
See, with plays like that, you would want to Easton Smith or Trent Darmson, because that was a wide open lane for Alex Sanders to be able to run, but because his bum knee, he won't take that chance. You know,
Mike Sanders, not Alex Sanders, but I won't blame.
Oh my goodness!
I won't blame McKinney on that one as AJ Jurgensen lines up for the field goal here. It'll be a 34-yard field goal. The kick is up, and it is no good. It'll be his fourth miss of the season. Dixie State will come up empty on that one. AJ Jurgensen has had some miscues all season so far, and yet another one comes up big for Dixie State on that one.
Yeah, and field goals and PATs, those are the easy points that change the games at the end of the game. You could tell by Chadron State when they played Adams State, they won 65-62, you know, and
a field goal changed that game.
Yeah, and so we just have to score and defend the ball.
First down and 10 for Chadron State on their own 20-yard line. Dylan Holst has two receivers to his left and one receiver to his right. Kevin Coy Jr. is lined up in the backfield with him. Fake the handoff to Coy, and he will throw it, and it'll be incomplete. Was looking for number 15, Chad Milkins. On the reception there, will be incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up for Chadron State.
Great coverage by the Trailblazer secondary. You know, they're doing really well right now, picking up on those quick curl routes and those quick outs. You know, and if they shut those down, I think they'll shut down that passing game.
Jalen Moore was on the coverage there as Chadron State will line up for 2nd down and 10 here. Bunch set to the left. And they'll fake the handoff. They'll hand it off to their running back. He'll get up the middle of the field, And he'll keep going. He'll down at the 30-yard line. What a great run there. I could not see the number. Now I can. 22, Stevan Brown, the redshirt junior running back. A Statue of Liberty, little right there by Chadron State, and get up the middle of the field. No one was there.
That was a great fake by Chadron State. I got to give him credit. That quarterback sold that pass, and someone thought it was going to be quick. Everybody thought it was going to be a quick pass, but it was a little Statue of Liberty handoff to number 22, who got a big gain on that rush.
Shawan Brown still lined up in the backfield with Dylan Holst. First down and 10, as Holst will get out of the pocket and will get down. He'll get a gain of 2 on that play. As a case of fumbling words keeps jumping around here in the studio, McKinney's got me sick on it as I keep fumbling my words as well. It'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up here for Chadron State. DeMartini almost there with a sack.
DeMartini today is really coming up strong. He's causing a lot of penetration on the offensive line today.
2nd down and 8 coming up for Chadron State. 13:30 left to go. Holst will throw it to his tight end. It'll be complete, and it'll be down at about the 17-yard line. Number 25 there. Cole Thurnis on the reception there for Chadron State.
Great job by that quarterback for Chadron State. He has a very good eye. He knows who's wide open. He throws right to them.
1st down and 10 for Chadron State. He'll throw it again, and it'll be incomplete. Shiloh Pritchard on the coverage. Again, was trying to connect with Cole Thurnis. I will get these names confused all day as I don't know any of the Chadron State players. It'll be hard for me to call them. But, again, Dylan Holst trying to throw a little quick in route right there, and it was incomplete.
Great job by the linebacker, Shiloh Pritchard. He's doing really well tonight. So is Abraham Reinhardt. We have a great linebacker crew.
2nd down and 10. Chadron State has 2 receivers to his right and left. Dylan Holst, as there will be a flag. Was it offsides or encroachment by?
I believe it's offsides.
They're going to call encroachment on this one. Let's see what the call is.
Interesting. Usually.
Defense, causing a tackle to move. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Usually they don't blow the whistle if the defense jumps offside. Because then that's a free play for the offense to be able to maybe score or something.
You're right on that, but they will call it if the defensive player makes the offensive line player move. They will call it encroachment on the defense, and right there we were guilty of that. 2nd down and 5. Dylan Holst looking, scrambles outside the pocket. He'll get it to his receiver, and it'll be down at the 4-yard line. It'll be 1st down and goal coming up for Chadron State. Shiloh Pritchard again on the coverage, but was there a little too late.
Great job by Shiloh Pritchard and Abraham Reinhardt by not allowing that, number 25 to get any more yardage than he already did.
1st down and goal for Chadron State as they still lead this game 6-0 over Dixie State. 12:55 left to go in the 2nd quarter here. Can Dixie State come up with a stop here? We'll see. Bringing the pressure to corner of the end zone, and it is touchdown. It'll be another touchdown for Chadron State. Number 9. Tavon Wright, the wide receiver, will make it 12-0, a pending PAT here.
And that was caught on Jalen Moore right there. And that is just a one-on-one battle. And who is going to win it? Number 9 for Chadron State won that battle.
A pending PAT here. They will not go for the 2 points. They'll stick with the 1 here. The kick is up, and it is good. Number 35. Will Morgan, the place kicker, will put it up through and will make it 13-0 as Chadron State leads this game. 12:46 left to go here. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout right here on Radio Dixie and be right back with more.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 as we have live coverage of Chadron State versus Dixie State University. They lead this game 13-0 here with 12:45 left to go in the second quarter, as Dixie State will receive the kickoff and will be down at about the 17-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for them there. McKinney, what does Dixie State need to do on this drive here? They're down big, but this team has been known to being down. What changes can they make to come back in this game yet again?
The offense right now, the offensive line is doing well, and their air game is doing pretty good. So I think they need to pass it until they establish a good front for that run game.
First down and 10 for Dixie State. Mike Sanders lines up as the running back again. CJ will come back in the game. He'll get outside the numbers, and he'll get a gain about 2 on that one. Nowhere really for him to run on that one there. Make it second down and 8 coming up for Dixie State.
Hey, our offensive scheme for our rushing game today, it's not going pretty well, but our passing game is not too bad today.
Not too bad at all, as Xavier Smith, DeJuan Dancer, and Casey Allison are receivers. CJ Luongo lines up in a pistol formation with Mike. Fakes a handout to him. He'll throw the ball out to his tight end, and he'll get a gain about 6 on that one. Number 84 for Dixie State. Cody Hobbs, the tight end who was played earlier in the season, got hurt in week 3 and was out for about 4 weeks, has come back healthy, and he got a good gain right there.
The tight ends are really coming up today for the Dixie State Trailblazers. We had Yoshikawa, and then now we have 84.
Cody Hobbs.
Great job by coming out hard today.
Third down and 3 coming up for Dixie State. Mike Sanders has a bunch formation. Looking, throws it to his tight end again, and Cody Hobbs has the reception. And he'll be down at the 37-yard line. A first down and 10 for Dixie State.
Today, I think right now we need to give it to our big guys, our tight ends, our fullbacks, our running backs, because those guys are the guys that are being left wide open because they're doing deep coverage on all our other receivers. So those guys are the perfect ones to throw the ball to.
Let's see if that works. They'll have first down and 10. Mike Sanders has a bunch formation to his left. CJ Luongo lines up in a pistol formation behind him. Chadron State shows he'll bring the pressure, but no, they will not, as CJ will get a gain about 8 on that one. Make it second down and 2 coming up for Dixie State.
Great running back draw by the Trailblazers and great blocking. They really sold that block for the offensive line and allowed it for CJ to run the 8 yards.
CJ checks out. Lauren Starks is in. Mike Sanders has a bunch formation again to his left. Has Casey Allison on an island on the right. We'll throw it to Xavier Smith. Smith will get the reception. Will get out of bounds at the 47-yard line. A gain of 4 on that one. Make it first down and 10 for Dixie State.
Right now, we are doing really well on those short passes and those short runs. Great job by the offensive line by giving that time to Alex Sanders. I'm going to be saying that a lot today. Offensive line just doing really good today on that pass blocking.
I wouldn't blame you. You're an offensive line guy. CJ Luongo checks into the game again. He lines up beside Mike Sanders. Fakes the handout to him. Throws it to Cody Hobbs. And Cody Hobbs will get up the field again. Nice. He'll be down at the 35-yard line. A gain of 12 on that play right there. As will be first down and 10 for Dixie State.
Our big tight ends are coming up today. Yoshikawa and Hobbs, they are doing really well in the pass game today and giving us the yardage that we need.
Mike Sanders has looked good as we will keep mentioning the O-line. I know you're going to mention it because you're an O-line guy, but Casey Allison, Xavier Smith, and DeJuan Dancer are still the wide receivers. CJ Luongo is the running back. As they'll hand it off to CJ, he'll get up the middle of the field, and he'll get a gain about 3 yards on that one as we second down and 7. Lawrence Starks was the running back. I'm going to get them two mixed up all season. They're the same height and about the same weight. So it makes it confusing. And considering they also have 2 numbers almost the same, Lawrence is number 20 and CJ's 25, it doesn't make it any more simpler to find them on the field.
Yeah, most definitely.
Second down is 7 coming up for Dixie State. Casey Allison motions himself over. They'll hand the ball off to Lawrence on a counter run. He'll get up the middle of the field, and he'll get a gain about 11 yards on that one. Again, another first down for Dixie State. 9:25 left to go. A gain of, 11, and they're now at the 23-yard line.
I got to give credit to Mike Sanders. He is really selling every play he does, and he's very well-composed quarterback.
First down and 10 Xavier Smith is lined up in the slot. Hands the ball off, fakes it too, and there will be no one there as they're a little bit off on that play. Dewan Dancer was the intended receiver on that one. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Dixie State as the train stops here right now. But let's see if we can get it back up and running.
I think there may have been a wrong route ran on that play, but that all in all, that was still a great coverage of playing right there.
Cody House motioned himself over to the left. Sanders looks towards the sideline for signal calls. Has Casey Allison, Xavier Smith in the slot and the Y formation on the left side. Fakes a handoff to CJ. Throws it to the corner, and it'll be caught by Casey Allison.
Nice.
He'll be down at the 3-yard line.
Great job by Casey Allison by catching that ball. And man, if you are able to watch this game right now, Mike Sanders, he throws the right passes. He makes it catchable for every receiver to catch the ball.
Mike Sanders has looked really good today as Casey Allison will be the lone receiver as Yoshikawa and Hobbs line up as the tight ends. Seiji Luongo is in at running back. They hand the ball off to Seiji, and he'll get a gain of about 1 yard as it'll be 2nd down and goal coming up for Dixie State.
It looked like on that play, there may have been wrong blocking assignments. CJ got his helmet ripped off, and he was kind of heated after that play. Let's see how we adjust and play this next play.
You'll have to come off the field as a division, as NCAA rules say, is once your helmet comes off, you got to come off the field for one play. Dixie State numbers in the red zone this year, they're 20 for 25, 80% with 17 touchdowns. Chadron State has given up 22 touchdowns this season in the red zone. We'll see who wins this battle. As I'll hand it off to Isaiah Wooden, he'll get away. No, he will not. He tried to get away on that one. No one was fooled on that little trickery play, and it'll push Dixie State back to the 9-yard line, a loss of 7.
And that play was a play option. He either could keep the ball and run it or throw it, and I think he should have kept it, honestly, to run it. But
I think they should have kept. I think they should keep passing it. I mean, the passing game is working so far this afternoon, and I don't see why they should have stopped it right there. As Connor Miller and Xavier Smith check into the game, they're up on the right side of the screen, on our screen here. Sanders looks towards the sideline. Got his signal calls. Let's see what they call here. And false start will be called.
No, that is not what we want. 2 times in the red zone where we make, mental mistakes. Those are really bad on us.
5-yard loss right there. It'll back up Dixie State as they were on their own 2-yard line. Both the left tackle and the right tackle simultaneously moved at the same time, but nobody else moved, and it caused a false start right there.
Yeah, at least it wasn't just one guy. They get to blame each other.
Now the coaches have 2 people to yell at on film on Monday morning.
Yep.
Mike Sanders lines up in a shotgun again. 3rd down and goal, a long goal. They're back at their own 14-yard line. Casey Allison, Xavier Smith are at the top on the left side here on the double formation. Sanders looking, throws it to the end zone, and it'll be incomplete. Was looking for Yoshikawa right there. It'll be incomplete. 4th down coming up here. And Dixie State will try this again. No. They're going to send out their field goal formation with A.J. Jurgensen with the kick. Can he get it through the uprights this time? We're going to find out here.
We really need him to, because if I was the coach, I would have went for it on 4th down with his history.
Pending field goal right here. The kick is away, and it is no good again. He missed it again. Ooh. Wide left again by A.J. Jurgensen. Again, he misses it. Again, there's no points on the board. Dixie State will come up empty there. 0-2 so far in the red zone. It has not been going well for them in the red zone. They can drive it all the way until then, and then they just make mental mistakes, and it's costing them 2 touchdowns. They could be leading this game 14-13.
They definitely could. Right now, I'll talk about it later.
I know you will be. Dylan Holst lines up in the shotgun. 1st down and 10 on the 20-yard line for him. He has 2 receivers to his left and right. Motions over a receiver to the left. Hands it off to his running back, Coy. He'll get met at the line of scrimmage. He'll lose about 2 yards on that. Anthony Yarborough and Shiloh Pritchard, the two men right there to begin the feeding time on the running back.
That's exactly what we want to see for this defense. You know, Anthony Yarborough doing the outside contain for the defensive line, not allowing any runs to go outside of him. And then we also want those linebackers to come up and make sure to secure the bag so no more rushing yards can happen.
2nd down and 12 coming up for Chadron State. Holst lines up in the shotgun again, throws it to the end, throws it, and is incomplete. As I said, end zone again. They're not even close to the end zone. It'll be 3rd down and 12 coming up for Chadron State.
Good job by Alex Lilliard. Looked like he got a hand on that ball. Yep. Caused it to kind of wobble a bit so that they were unable to catch it.
Number 15, Chad Mickelson again on the reception there as a 3rd down and 12. And it is. Was it completed? It was. It was tipped up in the air to begin with. Darren Jones had the tip on that one, and then it was caught.
Man, I saw that tip, and I was hoping that Trayvon Watson was going to get that ball after he tipped it. Look at, Oh, no, it's 34. Augustus Frazier that got the ball, that hit that ball.
The refs are gathering themselves up. There is a flag on the field as an injured player for Chadron State walks off. Number 68, Austin Rapp. There is a penalty against Dixie State, and it'll be a 1st down and 10. It looks like it was a face mask call against them. It'll make it 1st down and 10 at the 31-yard line. A big momentum swing right there for Chadron State as it'll give them a fresh 1st down and 10.
Let's hope our defensive line is able to show their presence and penetrate on this pass or, plug up the holes if it's a run.
1st down and 10. Dylan Holst motions over receiver to the right. Takes a snap, is looking downfield, and will not get away. Woo! Sebastian DiMartini will be there with the sack. It'll back him up 6 yards, making 2nd down and 15 coming up here for Chadron State.
Great job by DiMartini. He had a double team. He shedded his first block and then was left one-on-one with that running back, and he beat him and was able to get that sack. Great job by Sebastian DiMartini.
That is his 4th sack of the year. Let's see if we can get more of that as Dylan Holst lines up with 2 receivers to his right and left. Kevin Coy Jr. is lined up in the backfield with him. Again, the pressure comes. He'll just dish it off to his running back, and he'll get a gain of about 6 yards. There will be a flag coming in late.
Nice.
We believe it is a holding call. We will see what the play is coming up here. But just a little dump play right there by Chadron State to get some yardage back.
I think it was a block in the back.
Let's see what the call is.
He jumped. It didn't look like he passed the line of scrimmage.
It'll be 3rd down and 4. Again, I would have taken that illegal block in the back. That would have made it about 3rd down and 20, giving the Dixie State a chance to really breathe. But again, I'm not the coach here. I don't know what Coach McClure is thinking as we have a 3rd down and 4 here for Chadron State.
Right now, we just need a big stop. Coach McClure is putting a lot of faith in his defense right now to make this stop so that we can go get the ball on offense.
Dylan Holst looks a little quick pass. It'll be completed by 25, and he'll get away from the pressure. He'll get up to about the 30, to the 20, to the 10, and he'll be pushed out of bounds. Where will they mark him? He'll be down at the 9-yard line. A big gamble by Dixie State, and it is not a good gamble for them at all. It'll be 1st down and goal for Chadron State at the 6-yard line.
On that play, very
bad.
Wow.
They had him about 4 times, and they still could not bring him down to the field. Number 25, again, Cole Thurnes, the redshirt sophomore.
Man.
What a bad
Terrible
gamble
play
there by Dixie State. 1st down and goal at the 6-yard line here. Dylan will take the snap, and it was hit late. Was it a fumble? They're determining whether it's a fumble or not. They haven't said anything yet.
No, I think it's a 2nd down. Okay.
They're going to call it an incomplete pass. It'll be second down and goal. We were holding our breaths there for a moment.
Yeah.
We thought we had a fumble there. We're looking at the replay here. Yeah, that's an incomplete pass. That's a definite incomplete pass right there. He was throwing it as he got hit.
Man.
What a gamble loss for Dixie State there, as they were trying to get them down on their own 37-yard line, and now they're on Dixie State's 6-yard line, waiting to try to get a touchdown here. Dylan Holtz has 3 receivers to his right, and there's a timeout taken by Chadron State, and their coach is not happy, as there was a lot of confusion on that play right there.
This is not good at all. You know, on that big outbreak play, Mike Jones came up. He made first contact with number 25. And the bad part about that, when he made first contact, Malaki came up, and instead of tackling the player, he tried to rip the ball out. And because he tried to rip the ball out, he fell on the floor, and 25 was able to get all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Chadron State's coach, Jay Long, called the timeout there, was not happy with his team, as they were all confused about what was going on the play. But again, we mentioned it today, Dixie State has put themselves in a situation with 2 good drives and not able to complete them in the red zone, costing themselves in that momentum. Just really not anywhere there, and 2 missed field goals by A.J. Jurgensen has really put this team in a hole they haven't been in a while this season so far.
Yeah. And on that, if you're a kicker, your job is to make those field goals. And that, it gets me mad when the kicker doesn't make their field goals.
Dylan Holtz lines up with 3 receivers to his left. Second down and goal coming up here for Chadron State. The pressure comes again. He'll throw it to the corner of the end zone, and no one was there. No flags are on the play. It'll be third down and goal. Nope, wait. Flag comes out late. Let's see what the call is here.
Number 76, offense, 10 yards, second down.
Holding on the line, number 76, a definite call right there by the right tackle. It'll back him up 10 yards, and it'll push him back to the 16-yard line, make it a long third down and goal. Finally, Dixie State gets a little breather room as they're in the red zone here against Chadron State. Chadron State still leads this game 13-0 with 4:09 left to go here in the second quarter.
I think we're going to see a lot more holding on DeMartini because of how disruptive he's been being all game today.
Third down and goal, Chadron State. Holtz motions over a tight end. Shovels outside the pocket, and he'll get hit. He'll be sacked by Abraham Reinhardt, the redshirt junior, the one that hits so hard on this team that he has half of his half of his helmet paint missing because of all those hits that he's been giving out this season. A great sack right there.
That's exactly what the Trailblazers needed. Some big defensive plays and some big defensive stops.
Third down and goal. It was second down and goal after that holding call. It'd be third down and goal at the 20-yard line. A long way to go for Chadron State to put up any points on this board. Holtz looking, will scramble outside the pocket. Will get it to Kevin Coy Jr., and he'll get to about the 9-yard line. It'll be fourth down and goal. What will Chadron State do? They will send out their kicking unit. Number 35, Will Morgan, the place kicker. Just a little quick dump there by Dylan Holtz to get away from the pressure.
Great job by the defense by not allowing that touchdown. You know, we switched from the 4-man front to a 3-man front so that we could have more coverage for that pass, if there was going to be a pass.
The kick is up, and it is good. It'll be 16-0 with 2:49 left to go here in the second quarter. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout here on Radio Dixie and be right back with more on the Trailblazer Nation.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 as we have live coverage of Chadron State Eagles versus Dixie State Trailblazers here on Radio Dixie 91.3. My man, McKinney Manu, in the studio with me today. McKinney, this game has not gone so far so good for Dixie State as they trail this game 16-0 with 2:48 left to go in this game here. What can Dixie State do to get back into this game? They have an important drive here before the end of this half.
You know, last week we had a problem running the ball and we had a problem with the offensive line. They sharpened up on the offensive line, and now we have a problem with the receivers. You know, so like if it's not one thing, it's another thing. And so if we can get it to where everybody's clicking, our offense is literally going to be unstoppable.
As Chadron State lines up to kick it back to Dixie State. Again, 2:49 left to go in this first half here as Chadron State leads this game 16-0 over Dixie State. Dixie State has been known for being down at the first half, but coming back in the second half, they have 3 comebacks this season so far. Can they come up with another comeback here, McKinney?
I think they can. You know, 16's not a crazy number. Ooh. Oh. Sorry, 16's not a crazy number, and we can definitely come back from this.
As we're having technical difficulties here, as the live feed is starting to come in and out here, we're trying to get it live. We're trying to get it back here in a few minutes here. Let's see if it comes back. Again, 2:48 left to go here in this second half. Yes, we have the live covers come back here. 2:40 left to go. Dixie State will be on their own 34-yard line here. Mike Sanders lines up with 2 receivers to his right and left. Hands the ball to Sage. Sage will try to get up the middle of the field and will get about a yard or 2 there. Make it 2nd down and 8. And Dixie State needs to go. They have no 2-minute warning in college football, and they only have 1 timeout here as they will get back to the line of scrimmage here. A good little run by Sage.
Yeah, great job. You know, our offensive line is doing an exceptional job today.
First, 2nd down and 8. Sanders will dump it off to Connor Miller. Connor Miller will get up to about the 47-yard line. 48, make it that. It'll be 1st down and 10 as the clock will stop as they wait for the chain gain. Let's hope the chain gain takes their time as much as they want to get up the field to set up a 1st down and 10. But
I would have called the late hit on that. Sorry.
Well, a good little cross route right there by Connor Miller. Again, they'll dish it off to Connor Miller. He'll try to get up the field again.
Nice.
He'll get to about the 44. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Great job by Connor Miller. Right now, these past 2 plays, he's gotten us about almost 20 yards.
1st down and 10, 1:38 left to go here. Mike Sanders looking again, throws it to Connor Miller yet again.
Ooh.
And he'll get out of bounds at the 28-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 for them. It will stop the clock immediately. The clock stops automatically for the chain gain, but there will be a timeout taken by Chadron State here. Timeout taken by Jay Long and the Chadron State Eagles here on a 1st down and 10 on the 28-yard line. But again, we mentioned it real quick, Connor Miller on the last few plays there, it was 88.
Giovanni Sanders.
Giovanni Sanders. Connor Miller and Giovanni Sanders, the last 3 catches for this team. But a good little quick drive here by Dixie State to get within field goal range if we can get a field goal made. But it seems the passing game has been working out a lot better in this game than we expected, didn't we, McKinney?
Definitely. We just pushed 40 yards in 1 minute. So, like, we're doing really good, you know, and we really need to execute those short, quick routes because those are our bread and butter right there. That's where we're getting into the red zone. And then once we switch up to the run, we're not running the right run plays and the deep passes, or we keep trying to go for more corner routes when we're in the red zone, which I think short and simple is great for our team.
I could not agree more on that as we're, again, live feed is starting to come in and come out here. We don't know what's going on. We believe Chadron State is coming up with a concept to stop us from calling a game here, but they will not stop us at all. Not here on Radio Dixie 91.3 as we
Not
refuse.
today.
Mike Sanders throws a ball, and it'll be incomplete. A 2nd down and 10 coming up here for Dixie State. It'll be 1:27 left to go on their own 28-yard line. Will Dixie State shoot themselves in the foot here again and come up with nothing, or will they finally get the touchdown they've been working so hard for? We will see. 2nd down and 10. Mike Sanders takes a snap. Looking downfield, looking, and he just dumps it off to CJ Luongo. He'll get to about the 18-yard line. A 1st down and 10 coming up for Dixie State. It'll be in the red zone as they are 0-2 today with no touchdowns and no field goals.
Again, I think they're realizing those short passes are being very effective on their offensive side of the ball. So great job by Mike Sanders on that pass.
1st down and 10 by Mike Sanders. Will dump it off again to CJ. He'll get up to about the 7-yard line. 1st down and 10 coming up. 1st down and goal in their own.
Go
Go ahead.
2 of the same exact plays in a row to CJ Luongo. Great job by the offense.
1st down and 10. 1st down and goal. 59 seconds left to go in this first half as the clock runs. 55 seconds left to go. Sanders looking, throws it as he was hit, and it'll be incomplete. It'll be 48 seconds left to go. 2nd down and goal coming up for Dixie State.
And I'm gonna tell you, I love how Mike Sanders can throw the ball, but when you see that all your receivers are covered and you got that wide open lane to run, you got to take that lane, man.
It definitely hurts the fact that he cannot run.
Because that was wide open to the end zone.
2nd down and goal. They hand the ball to CJ. CJ will get up the middle, and he'll get to about the 3-yard line.
Great blocking up front. Great job by CJ Luongo by trusting his blockers. When a running back can trust his blockers, that's when they get the best yardage and best kind of carries.
3rd down and goal coming up for Dixie State here on their own 3-yard line. 37 seconds left to go in this game here, as we are not sure what's going on as they keep cutting off our live feed here. Stop cutting it off, Chadron State. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Dixie State only has 10 seconds left to go.
I say we pound the ball in or do a short pass. That's all I say. That's what we need to do.
I can agree with you on that one, as it's been working out so far. We'll see what they call here.
I say put a heavy package in.
Put the goal line package in straight ahead. Just do it. What do you got to lose? Nothing, really.
Yeah, we got strong runners. We got strong people up front to block. All we need is some points on the board before the half, man.
You are frustrated over there, McKinney.
Yeah.
We talked about it off the air. You are frustrated the fact that we cannot seem to get points, even though the offense has been clicking all day. Obviously, we have the better numbers offensively, just no points to prove it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just very flustered over here. It's just a lot of assignment football that we're not reading well. And so if we can sharpen up on that, we'll see a lot better game coming into the second half.
4th down and goal. 10 seconds left to go here in the first half. What will Dixie State call? As again, we mentioned, they're 9 for 16 on 4th down, 56% completed, as there was a timeout. We're going to say, timeout taken by Chadron State to ice the quarterback. We've known that for mostly icing the kicker, but I guess icing the quarterback is the new trend?
I guess so. I don't know. I hope we come back out and just do some wildcat run.
That would not be a bad idea, as Connor Miller has 2 touchdowns on the season so far out of the wildcat formation. Those 2 touchdowns came against Black Hills State, as we did convert those on 4th downs in the red zone. Maybe we ought to pull out the wildcat. McKinney, you're not wrong on that call at all.
Oh, Miller, he got us down here. Sanders got us, helped us out on getting into the red zone right here. And CJ, those 3 right now, those 3 names, those guys got us right here to the 3-yard line. And let's hope, Mike Sanders, or actually the head coach, calls a great play that gets us points on the board before the half is over.
Coach McClure trying to come up with a formation that will work here on this 4th down play. Again, the live feed is being cut for no reason. We suspect Chadron State has some dirty work behind this as they keep trying to make us stop here at Dixie State University, but I refuse to stop our live coverage, and it will be incomplete as we come back here on this 4th down and goal. It will be no good as Dixie State will come up empty yet again. Mike Sanders in the pocket, got pressure late. No one there for them at all. They'll come up empty yet again on a red zone drive. They're 0-3 so far today.
So I saw the refs throw their hats off. I don't know what that means exactly.
That means that a receiver stepped out of bounds and he's ineligible, and that has nothing to do with the fact that we just missed yet another red zone try there on.
Exactly.
Let's see what the defense can do as there's only 4 seconds left to go here in the first half. Dixie State.
Hail Mary. Watch.
Dixie State will receive the second half kickoff as they will just run a quick little in route there and will end the first half here. Chadron State leads this game 16-0 over Dixie State after a wild game so far. Chadron State again leads this game 16-0 going into the half. We will be right back with a 1-minute break here. We'll be right back with the Trailblazer Halftime Show here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to the Trailblazer Halftime Show, brought to you by Ken Garff's Ford Lincoln Company, the best Ford Lincoln company out here in St. George. I might have said that sponsor wrong, and Sean's going to tell me, you said that sponsorship wrong there, dude. And I'll get a mouthful, but okay, I'll just take the blame there on that one. Anyway, let's get to the stats here real quick. Chadron State taking on Dixie State. So far, they're winning this game 16-0 going into the second half here. McKinney, when we look at the numbers here, Dixie State is completely controlling this game in most of the yardage here as they're leading it in first downs 14-8. Chadron State only has us in the rushing yards where they have 63 rushing yards to 29, but receiving yards and passing yards, we outgain them 246 to 180. But the penalties and the fact that we cannot get any touchdowns in the red zone, it's costing us touchdowns and it is costing us points.
Definitely, and that is what is making me so flustered, is because we are killing it in the air game, yet we are unable to score any points. And that also has a big part to do with Jorgensen. This is my personal opinion. If people get mad at me, I apologize. But I need to tell you that if you're a kicker and you're recruited as a kicker and your job is to make a field goal and make PATs, you need to make a field goal, make those PATs. There's no reason that you can't. And especially if it's less than 20-yard field goals. Unless it was some crazy 60-yard thing, okay, yeah, maybe. But Jorgensen's been getting these opportunities to put points on the board. Right now, it should be at least 6 points for the Trailblazers, but we have a goose egg right now.
We are leading them in all categories. Time of possession, we have 16 minutes to their 13 minutes. We have 1 punt less than them, but penalty-wise, we have 4 penalties for 30 yards. It costs us 2 chances to score in the red zone there as well. They have 2 penalties of 15 yards. No team has interceptions or fumbles. That is a category that Dixie State leads this season so far with +8 turnovers. They're going to have to get the turnover margin back in their category. That is going on with that game. Let's look at some other games going on here as Black Hill State and Colorado Mesa are underway. Black Hill State leading this game 6-3 with 4:24 left to go in that game. Colorado State Pueblo versus Azusa Pacific. This game is important. We're going to talk about that in a quick minute there. This game is important for Dixie State to get back into the RMAC Conference Championship conversation. Colorado Pueblo is leading that game so far 7-0 over Azusa Pacific. We'll talk about that game and why that is important to us. Not Colorado State Pueblo, Colorado School Mines. I got those teams wrong. We'll talk about that. Colorado State Pueblo now versus Adams State. That is scoreless with 7:54 left to go in the first quarter there. But the big surprise so far of this game so far, Western State, the only team winless in the RMAC, is winning a game big over Fort Lewis 27-6.
Wow.
Fort Lewis not really having the best season they wanted this season so far. They're 1-6 coming into this game. Not a good start for them at all in that one. Now, let's jump into the scenarios of what's going on. Obviously, a lot of people are trying to pay attention to it. We're going to give you the quick roundabout real quick on it. Colorado School Mines is still undefeated. If they were to win out, they would be in the conference championship by default. If Colorado State Pueblo loses today or loses any games they have for the rest of the season, if they were to lose one more game and Dixie State were to win out, if we're putting exclamation points, we're down 16-0 to Chadron State so far. If we were to win out, it would be Colorado School Mines and Dixie State in the conference championship. Obviously, Colorado School Mines and Dixie State are here on November 3rd, the homecoming game. That is going to be an awesome game. We're going to be on the live coverage call for that one. Me and McKinney Manu on that one that day. But if Dixie State were to lose one game, CSU Pueblo were to win out, and Colorado School Mines were to win out, then it would be Colorado School Mines and Pueblo in the conference championship. Now, the third scenario, and this is the only third scenario that I know of, McKinney, if Colorado School Mines were to lose 2 games, Pueblo was to win out, we were to win out, it would be Pueblo and Dixie State in the conference championship, a rematch of the first week game after Pueblo put us on our butts, 56-14. You and I were on the call for that one. That was our first call of the season. Who do you want if, let's stay in that reference, we're putting exclamation points over that, if we were to win today and we were to win out, who do you want in the conference championship? Just throw it out right there, right now.
I would want Colorado State Pueblo.
Really?
Reason being, they whooped our butts. And this would give Dixie State an opportunity not only to win the rest of the season, but then to get to replay the team that they lost to. That, of course, should have won. Pueblo should have won. They were a better team. But Dixie State could come back, and anything can happen in football. And if Dixie State comes and goes to RMAC Championships and plays Pueblo and beats them, that would just be crazy. That would be crazy.
I'm a little speechless. I'm a little speechless by your answer. I want Mines. I want the best team in the conference championship. I understand Pueblo. They beat us. They kicked us on our butts. They put us on our butts so bad that we couldn't get back up. Obviously, we had injuries all over the field. Seje was out for that game. We had Casey Allison was out for that game. Mike Sanders was out for that game. It was the first game of the season. Yep. We were not ready for that game, obviously, even though we had 3 weeks to prepare for that game. I want Mines. I just want Mines because if we beat them at homecoming, that will give us the edge that we will have going into that conference championship game. And I think if we were to beat them one time, we can beat them again. Now, again,
true.
Pueblo has that same mindset. If they were to see us in the conference championship, they would be like, we beat them once, we can beat them again. But I think Dixie State has enough talent to get to there. Again, if we win today, if we come back, we all have those speculations, those quotation marks over it, the question marks all over it. If we were to come back, I think Mines and Dixie State, a story of that would be better than the Pueblo versus Dixie State because everybody would just pick Pueblo because they're the better team. But if we were to beat Mines, I think the experts would be looking at Dixie State and be like, they beat the best team. They beat them. If they were undefeated coming into homecoming, we beat their winning streak. We gave them the first loss of the season. Yeah. I think that would be a better case, man. But who am I? True. We're just 2 radio broadcast guys on the air right here, right now. We're going to take another minute timeout here. Be right back with more of the Trailblazer Halftime Show here on the Trailblazer Network here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to the Trailblazer Network here on Radio Dixie 91.3. We are live in the studio. McKinney Manu on the color commentating today, and I, Martin Kelly, are on the play-by-play for you today as the Chadron State Eagles are taking on the Dixie State Trailblazers. Chadron State is leading this game 16-0 at half. Dixie State's got to make a lot of changes going into the second half. We'll get to that in a minute here, but let's get you some college scores up here. Michigan and Michigan State fight for the Paul Bunyan Trophy there. They are tied up on the third quarter, 7-7. Number 20, Cincinnati, is in overtime with Temple. They're tied at 17. Cincinnati on the drive there, trying to get the field goal to win the game. Oklahoma and TCU in a complete shootout today, per se, towards Oklahoma. They win this game 52-27. They push their record to 6-1 and 3-1 in the Big Ten. Number 23, Wisconsin, played in a snowy game against Illinois and beat them 49-20. It pushes Wisconsin to 4-2 on their record. Number 19, Iowa's trying to stay as close as perfect as they can. They come into this game 5-1 and 2-1 in Big Ten play. They win this game 23-0. They go 6-1 and 3-1. Other games coming on later today. Number 1, Alabama will go up against Tennessee. Number 15 ranked Washington will go up against Colorado. That's going to be a good game right there. 5th ranked LSU versus 22nd ranked Mississippi State. Some good games on later today, huh, McKinney?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm really excited about that LSU game versus Mississippi State. LSU, I really hope to see them in the BCS championship this year.
I hope to see them too. Also, the big game of the night will be between number 12 ranked Oregon versus 25th ranked Washington State. Ooh. That's going to be a high scoring game. That's going to be a complete shootout from start to end. We're going to see that. We're going to take one more time out here. Be right back here on the Trailblazer Network. We're going to be right back with our second half adjustments here on Radio Dixie 91.3.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to the Trailblazer halftime show here on Radio Dixie 91.3. McKinney Manu on the color commentating, and me, Martin Kelly, on the play-by-play for you. Chadron State Eagles lead this game 16-0 over the Dixie State Trailblazers, 16-0 going into the second half. Big game for both teams to try to keep their conference championship hopes alive. It is going to come down to the wire in this game. Hopefully we see a comeback made by Dixie State. Real quick here with some second half adjustments as we try to get live feedback up here. But McKinney Manu, what are some second half adjustments that you see that Dixie State needs to make in order to get back into this football game?
Oh, it's definitely for defense. My only issue with defense is the coverage. That's how they've been able to get big gains. And on top of the coverage is tackling the guy with the ball. Stop trying to go for if you can't do the basics, if you can't tackle the guy, don't try and rip the ball out, because that was one of their scores was because one player came up, tried to rip the ball out, and fell on his back, and then number 25 for Shadron ran all the way to the 5-yard line. And so that's it for defense. And for offense, I feel that they really adjusted well at the end of that second half. They knew that they're doing well on those short passes, and so I think they're going to come back and depend on those short passes, because those quick passes, they catch Shadron off guard.
Well, I was sorry. I didn't expect you to stop saying something there. I was like, wait, what's going on here? I can agree with you on that. I think offensively, the run game has got to get a little bit more up to speed. We're not used to seeing CJ and Lawrence only run for just about 30 yards and a half. We're used to seeing them run about 60 to 70. Right there with Shadron, who are running 63 yards on the run. Offensively with the pass, I think you and I are surprised by how the fact that Mike Sanders is still able to stand in the pocket and throw the ball and have confidence and try to find all of his receivers. We just wish we could not get in for the touchdown, and it is not going well there for us. But maybe we can get more touchdowns, and maybe we can get ahead on the scoreboard and show that we are a tough fighting football team here. But, you know, who knows? We'll see what happens with the later part of this second half. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout here. Be right back with live coverage of this game. The Shadron State Eagles lead Dixie State Trailblazers 60-0. The second half is coming up right here on the Trailblazer Network.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back. The second half is about to start right now. We have live coverage of Shadron State leading this game 16-0 over Dixie State University. The second half is just underway with Shadron State sending the kickoff down to us. Isaiah Wooden on the reception. He'll be down at about the 26-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for Dixie State. On the call with me today, on the color commentating today, is McKinney Manu, my man, who just got signed to a contract. We'll get into that later in the day, but congrats on you for that. But, McKinney, we have a job to do here right now. Dixie State down 16-0. They've known for coming back in their games. They have 4 comebacks this season so far, and they have all wins in that comeback. What does Dixie State need to do to get this comeback completed?
Right now, we need to execute the run game like we can, and execute those short passes. That seems like it's been going well.
First down and 10 for Dixie State as they'll hand it off to CJ Luongo, and he'll get just about 2 yards on that one there. As it'll be second down and 8 coming up for Dixie State, as there's a little ruffle and tuffle late on the end of the play there by CJ Luongo and number 16, Devon Johnson, the freshman DB, as they were just butting heads towards the end. Just a little, likable sportsmanship there, but a good play there for Dixie State. Second and 7 coming up. Trips are to Mike Sanders' right. Throws it to Xavier Smith, and he'll get met up again. Casey Allison on the reception there. Nowhere there to go on that little screen. It'll be third down and 8 coming up for Dixie State.
Man, I don't even know what number that is for Shadron State. That guy has some long dreads, but that was good coverage by Shadron. He executed that receiver as soon as he caught the ball.
I cannot tell either. I agree with you on that. Those are some long dreads there. Man's going back to the 70s with those as Mike Sanders has trips to his left. Snap. Throws it, and it will be caught by DeJuan Dantzler. Was he down? He was down. They said there was a fumble at the end. No, he was down. It'll be first down and 10 for Dixie State.
Man, I am telling you, if you're watching this game, if you watched last week compared to this week, this offensive line, you would think it was a completely different offensive line that you've seen all season. They gave Mike Sanders so much time to get that pass off right now.
He could have made a cake back there, I swear to God. First down and 10 coming up for Dixie State. They have trips. Mike Sanders has trips to his right. Has Casey Ellison on a lone island on his left. Looking. Just throw it to Xavier Smith. He'll get away from the coverage. He'll get to the 45. He'll get to the 44-yard line. As Mike Sanders took a late hit on that one. Did he get back up, and will he come to the line? Yes, he will. Xavier Smith, just a little dump. A little wide receiver screen pass there. Mike Sanders waiting for the coverage to come, and it worked out perfectly.
And not only that, Mike Sanders stayed composed, even though those two guys about to hit him hard in the back. He threw the ball and then took the hit. And exceptional job by Xavier Smith, though, by getting that extra yardage after the catch.
Mike Sanders has trips to his left. CJ Luongo line up in the backfield. Yoshikawa comes in late, and he'll line up, and it looks like Dixie State will take a timeout as there's multiple confusions on who is supposed to be in and who is supposed to be out. This is not the way you want to start your first drive, as the coaches are upset, yelling at their players, obviously. But so far, so good on this starting drive. Wouldn't you say, McKinney?
Oh, definitely. No, great job by the offensive line by giving that time to Mike Sanders. And also the short, like I said before, the short passes are the ones that they're going to need to really execute on today. And they are. And they're making exceptional performance. And now they're at the 45-yard line in Shadron territory.
I like your little vocabulary there. Exceptional performance. Hey, look at you.
Trying to be fancy.
You're trying to be fancy, huh?
Yeah.
You're trying to get a radio job and an NFL contract. Yeah. Man, you're a Swiss Army knife over there. First down and 10 for Dixie State. Lauren Starks and CJ Luongo line up in the backfield. Starks is motioned over to the left. Throws a little screen pass to CJ, and he'll just get nothing there. Didn't look really good there as a flag possibly came in late. We're looking, didn't see anything, but a couple of the Shadron State players are looking back at the refs saying, how, me? But
there'll
be a personal foul
on the defense.
Lower leg, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Roughing the passer against Shadron State, 15-yard penalty as we see here late. And yes, that is a definite easy call right there. Going towards the legs is a no-no in the NCAA rules, in the NFL rules. You cannot hit the quarterback below the legs.
Yeah, and on his bad knee.
Even worse, his bad knee that he possibly has a torn ACL and MCL, and he's still playing. Got to give credit to Mike Sanders on that. Yoshikawa motions over to the left on this one. CJ Luongo line up in a pistol formation, fakes the handoff to him. Sanders scrambles outside the pocket and will throw it to CJ. He'll get away. He'll get to the 20-yard line. Again, Dixie State in the red zone here on the 20-yard line. McKinney, we've said it all day so far. They're 0-3 so far. 2 missed field goals and 1 failed fourth down conversion. Can they finally break free through the door? Can they smash it and finally get a touchdown?
I think they can if they do what they've been doing in this series. If they do, we're definitely going to see Trailblazer touchdown in this next few plays.
Let's see it as we can. 11:30 left to go. Second down and 1 for Dixie State. Throws it to Xavier Smith, and he'll get the reception. He'll try to get away. Yes, he did. He'll get to the 10-yard line.
There we go.
Down to the 7-yard line. It'll be first down and goal. What a great play by Xavier Smith to catch the ball and then get away from the DB.
Yep, he just did a little 2-yard out play, caught the ball, got hit by a defender, and then broke that tackle and ran for an extra 7 yards past that first contact. Great job by, that was Dancer, correct?
That was Xavier Smith.
Great job by Xavier Smith, and great pass by Mike Sanders.
Yoshikawa checks in as the tight end for Dixie State. They hand the ball to CJ. CJ will go up the middle and will get in for the touchdown. The first touchdown for Dixie State of the afternoon. They're down 16-6 with a pending PAT. They're going to go for it.
Let's go.
On a 2-point conversion. I don't blame them. A.J. Jurgensen, your 2 missed field goals. Give the confidence to the offense. Let them score this. Let's see what we can do. They're down 16-6. Not to bash on A.J. A.J.'s a good kid. I've talked to him a couple times. It's just, if you miss 2 field goals and you miss 4 PATs this season so far, do you have any confidence in that kicker to go out and make it?
Definitely not.
Let's see what they do on this 2-point conversion here. Mike Sanders looking. Will throw it, and was it caught? They're going to run. Yes.
Whoa. One-hand catch. Who was that? Was that?
I believe that was Yoshikawa, the tight end.
Oh, my gosh.
Was it? Let's see the replay. That was... No, we didn't see the number.
I think that was Hobb.
I think that was either Hobbs or Miller or Yoshikawa, one of the 3 little small men on the team. Let's see if we can get a better picture. Yes, it was Connor Miller. on the reception. 16-8 here for Chadron State, still leading this game. We're still going to be here with the live coverage.
Yes.
We will not go to commercial break here. 10:54 left to go. McKinney, you called it right as we were on the 20-yard line with a 2nd down and 1. You called it. We were going to get a touchdown. CJ Luongo, 6th touchdown of the season. Was that not a better drive than we've seen all day so far? Finally get the touchdown in the end zone.
What they just did in this series is what we've wanted to see from game 1. That was a perfectly executed series right there. You know, they may have had 2 hiccups in 2 of those plays where they didn't gain any yardage, but it was only great yardage, the good run blocks, good pass blocking, and, you know, they executed the short passes and the runs really well in that series. And now we're up, or we are not up. Now we have 8-6 or 8-16.
16-8. Chadron State leads this game as McKinney still fumble his words. He has fumble-itis this morning. Should have ate his cereal this morning as I did because I'm pronouncing my words perfectly today. A.J. Jurgensen sends the kickoff. It is a little squabble kick, and it'll be down by one of the up men. And was it recovered by Dixie State? There is a scramble, and it looks like it was covered by Chadron State. A close call there by Chadron State. A good little kick there by A.J. Jurgensen to squibble it on the end of his foot and possibly give Dixie State a chance of recovering that one. As everybody knows, is once the ball leaves the kicker's feet and once it passes 10 yards, it is a live ball. Anyone can recover it, and if that person recovers it, it becomes that team's ball.
Yeah, that's true, and that looked pretty good. Like, we were literally inches away from getting that turnover.
Inches, as it'll be 1st down and 10 for Chadron State on their own 26-yard line. Dylan Holst comes out in a 3-man set to his right, throws a little quick pass to his receiver, and it'll be caught for a gain of 7 to number 18, Jackson Dickerson. The 2 leading receivers today for them so far, Jackson Dickerson and what's his name? Cole Thurnis, as I'm confusing and just stalling here on the air. They've been the 2 leading receivers for Chadron State this season. Today so far on the 2nd down and 3, as they'll hand the ball off to their running back, Kevin Coy Jr. He'll get met in the backfield and be dropped for a loss of possible 7 yards. They'll push in a 3rd and 8.
I'm telling you right now, the defense is coming out, and they are coming for blood. They blitzed 2 people, and I wish they would mark the ball where the runner is tackled, but, you know, that's not how it's done.
No, that's not how it's done. You are right about that. 3rd down and 8. Coming up for Chadron State here. 10 minutes left to go in this 3rd quarter here. Dixie State showing the blitz. Will they bring it? No, they'll sit in coverage. DeMartini trying to get to the quarterback, and incomplete pass there by Dylan Holst. Was looking for number 25, Cole Thurnis, his leading receiver of the day so far. It'll be 4th down and 8 coming up for Chadron State.
Great job by a Trailblazer defense. The interior defensive linemen, Wes Moyai and Sebastian DeMartini, rushed that quarterback and made him sweat to throw not that good of a pass, but then, even then, we were able to pat the ball down.
Sebastian almost had his 2nd sack of the day as the kick gets away, almost blocked by Dixie State, as it will be down at about the 20. Simpson ran up to the ball for some reason. I don't know why he did that, as there will be a late flag comes in late. But he'll be down at about the 12-yard line. Not sure what the penalty is about. We're going to find out in a minute, but I'm not sure why Simpson went after the ball and got it. He should have just left it alone. It would have bounced in within the 10-yard line. But that's a reasonable thing for people to do when you're a return man. You just leave the ball alone.
Yeah, I think the play that they're about to call is, I believe Simpson may have fair caught the ball. And so when he grabbed it, he was tackled by other guys.
Let's see what it is as the refs gather up here. Dixie State is waiting to take the field for their 2nd drive of the half. They're down 16-8 here with 9:20 left to go. As the refs are still corralled with each other discussing the play call. Here we get it from the head ref. They're pointing to Chadron State. Let's see what the call is here, as they're still unsure. I don't know how long they have to take to call this. It looks like it's against Chadron State. They're looking to see whether Dixie State wants to accept it or not, or maybe they have to redo the punt.
Number 25 for Chadron went out of bounds during a kick and returned on his own. It's a legal kicker play out of bounds, 5 yards, replay.
Is that illegal?
I'm not sure. That's the first time I ever heard of that penalty right there.
I know that a receiver can't do that.
A receiver can't do that.
But a defender, I believe, I don't know.
I'm not sure about that, as Chadron State will redo the punt. It'll be 4th down and 13. Excuse me, as I fumbled my words again. Fumbleitis running around in the studio today. Thank you, McKinney Manu, for that.
You know, I think he's considered a receiver because they're punting the ball. So that may be it. I don't know, but lucky for us.
Lucky for us, it'll be a redo of a punt. 4th down and 13 coming up here for Chadron State as they'll try to get the punt away. Dixie State showing the pressure. They're coming with it, and the punt is away. It's a bad punt. Bad punt there. It will not be returned. Was it returned? Kind of, by Xavier Smith. We were unable to see that footage, but Dixie State, we believe because we can't see it on film as they're trying to horribly cut all the live feed from us. But we believe Dixie State will have their ball at the 30-yard line. Again, we mentioned that first drive by Dixie State of the second half. Thanks to Chadron State's roughing the passer call as well, gave Dixie State 15 yards on that one. And Dixie State was able to punch in their first touchdown of the day to make it 16-8 after going for the 2-point conversion. Connor Miller with the impressive one-handed catch. We were confused who that was. We said Yokishawa first,
then Hobbs,
and then we were like, oh, wait, it's Connor Miller who gets the credit for that. So far, McKinney, Dixie State looking good coming out of the second half. What would you say?
Oh, I definitely agree. Their first series, they scored. Then the first series on defense, they do a 3-and-out. You know, this is exactly what we want to see Dixie State do consistently. And if they do this, they are definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Definitely a force to reckon with. Excuse me. Again, Fumbleitis just ran around here in the studio with us today. On the call, McKinney Manu as the color commentator, and me, Mark Kelly, the play-by-play, as Chadron State is leading Dixie State 16-8. 9:16 left to go in the third quarter here. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Dixie State, their second drive of the half. And we watched them in the first half 3 times. They're in the red zone. No touchdowns, 2 missed field goals, 1 failed 4th down conversion. They have not played horribly. They just haven't been able to crash through the door and score, and yet they did on their first drive of the second half. And let's see what they do on their second drive here as Mike Sanders lines up. 1st down and 10, 2 receivers to his right. CJ line up in the backfield for him. He'll give it off to him, and he'll get about 2 yards on that one. Was it CJ or was it Lawrence? We're never going to be really sure unless we see the numbers after they stop tackling each other. And yes, it was CJ. We can confirm that.
Yeah.
But a good little run there by CJ McKinney.
Oh, definitely. You know, he saw that hole wide open, and he tried to hit it as hard as he can. But there was about 4 defenders that he met in that hole, yet he was still able to gain about 2 yards.
2nd down and 8 coming up for Dixie State. Trips bunch right for Mike Sanders. Motions over CJ to his left. Mike Sanders looking. We'll throw it to Connor Miller, and he'll get the reception. He'll be down at the 46-yard line. 46-yard line. 1st down and 10 for Dixie State. A great catch there by Connor Miller up the middle of the field.
I'm telling you, the Trailblazers are really coming up today, especially in the receiver core.
1st down and 10. Hand the ball to CJ. CJ will try to get around the end. He'll get around the end. He'll get to about the 42-yard line on the other side of the 50. Make it 1st down and 10. Dixie State, so far, we talked about it again. We mentioned it a couple seconds ago. They've looked so far good. They've looked good so far today. Looked really well today. Let me change my vocabulary right there real quick. But it is starting to click for them, huh?
It is, and it's looking good.
1st down and 10. They hand the ball to Lawrence Starks. Lawrence Starks gets away from all the defenders. He'll get to the 30-yard line. A gain of 12 yards on that one. First down and 10 coming up for Dixie State again. And finally, the running game is starting to come alive. We talked about this in the pregame as some of the keys to the game. It is starting to come alive, McKinney. It is starting to come alive.
Yeah, I'm feeling like the coaches listened to this broadcast because they did exactly what we said.
They did, and they hand the ball to was it Savior or Lawrence? It was Lawrence, as I'll get confused with them all day today. Minus 4 yards on that one, going nowhere. They were eaten up in the back. Chadron State saw that coming, beat the line of scrimmage, and got in the backfield.
Yeah, great job by the offense. You know,
he'll be down more of that. He'll be down to the 10-yard line. Excuse me.
Ooh, Giovanni Sanders.
Again, I keep getting all these players mixed up. They're about the same height, the same weight.
Yeah.
And you really can't tell the numbers until they're down. But Giovanni Sanders, his second reception of the day, a good little clean pass right there.
We're running such a fast offense right now.
Oh, it's on a speed. It's on a train. As CJ will get the run again. He'll get to the 5-yard line. It'll be second down and goal.
Let me tell you, these receivers, like the names you don't normally hear, are stepping up today in this game. You know, Miller, Sanders, Hobbs, Yoshikawa. These guys are really stepping up and showing that they deserve to play for the Trailblazers.
Speaking of Yoshikawa, he'll check in as a tight end. Xavier Smith will check in at the slot. Sanders was hit towards the end, was trying to get it away. Was it a fumble? They haven't ruled anything down yet. They rule.
I don't know if they're like blowing the whistle or not because
we can't.
The players are still playing and the balls are rolling around everywhere and we can't tell. I don't know what's going on. There must be the guy blowing the whistle must be blowing it very softly.
They ruled it incomplete. The backline judge ruled it incomplete, and then Xavier Smith jumped on the ball as two Chadron State players came back, tried to get it.
Yeah.
They ruled it incomplete pass. We're trying to look around to see what the call is. Hopefully the Holy Roller, the ghost of San Diego Chargers versus Oakland Raiders, is not coming alive here on this field between Chadron State and Dixie State. We hope the Holy Roller stays where it is in the NFL history books. Mike Sanders lines up with a trip bunch formation to his left. Motions over Xavier Smith out of the trip bunch, lines him up in the slot. Sanders looking, throws it to the end zone, and it'll be incomplete. It'll be fourth down coming up here. What is the call going to be? They're going to try to trust A.J. Jurgensen's foot again. Let's see if he can get it just too high right there. He had Casey Allison in the back of the field, back of the end zone. Just, again, they stalled themselves on those good drives. Maybe they should have ran the ball. Maybe they shouldn't have. Let's see if AJ can put it through. Finally, as he's missed 2 field goals today.
Come on, man. You could do it.
Can he put one through? The kick is up. And it is good. It was good this time. We were holding our breath here. McKinney holding his breath for the longest. It is now Chadron State 16. Dixie State 11, 5:45 left to go in this third quarter here. We're going to take a 30-second timeout here on the Trailblazer Network and be right back with a kickoff.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome back to Radio Dixie 91.3 as we have live coverage of the Chadron State Eagles versus the Dixie State Trailblazers. We have got kickoff right here as A.J. Jurgensen yet again squibbles a little short kick to about the 35-yard line. It was taken by one of the up men by Chadron State, and he'll be down at about the 37-yard line on Chadron State's side of the field. Dixie State is now only down by 5 points. They were down by 16 coming in out of the half. Chadron State has had one drive, an incomplete drive there. Dixie State has had 2 drives, 1 touchdown, 1 field goal. McKinney, what can Dixie State defense do here to get the momentum back to Dixie State's offense and possibly get a drive, get a leading touchdown to get the points back on the board.
Either a turnover or 3 and out.
Let's see what they can do. As there was whistles blown late, was there a false start? We're going to get the call.
Ooh, delay of game.
Delay of game.
Nice.
Delay of game will be called against Chadron State. He'll back him up 5 yards, make it first down and 15 for Dylan Holst, who was gone a little cold in the second half to start with. The first half, he was hot in the first quarter. The second quarter, he was starting to go a little cold, but so far, nothing really going well for the Chadron State offense.
No, the defense is actually a big reason on why that's happening. The coverage is a lot tighter, and the defensive line is doing a lot better.
First down and 10, Dylan Holst fakes the handoff to his running back, and it was thrown to his little slot receiver. It'll be only a gain of 2 yards. We can't really see it. Number 18, Jackson Dickerson, the redshirt junior junior wide receiver, 5'10", has been only one of the 2 leading receivers today. Has had about 6 receptions today as we look at second down and 13 here for Dylan Holst and this Eagles offense, as I keep fumbling my words. This fumbleitis is running around in the studio. Dylan Holst throws the ball long, and it is incomplete. He was looking for 25. Cole Thurnis, again, he's been throwing it to Cole Thurnis or
I feel like that's their go-to man.
Jackson Dickerson. The only 2 receivers we've been seeing really by Chadron State besides number 80, Brandon Fullerton, who had the touchdown earlier in the game. Just not going anything well for the Eagles offense so far. As there's a third down at 12, 4:54 left to go. As they'll throw a little screen pass to his running back. Did he get the first down? Yes, he did. He'll break away, and he'll get down to about the 37-yard line on the other side of the field. A good little screen pass there by the Eagle offense to get some momentum back in their corner there. Just dumped it off to their Elijah Miles, the freshman running back. Got away from the pressure and just ran to about the 45-yard line. They'll mark him down there. They'll hand it off to him again, and he got away from the pressure again.
Ooh.
And he'll be down at the 25-yard line. A flag flies in late.
I think it might be a face mask.
It might be a face mask. That's not good. Let's see as we're looking at the replay here. I don't see a face mask.
Oh, they're going to call it, though.
Let's see what the call is.
That would be like the only thing, right? I didn't see anything else.
I didn't see anything else either. Maybe there was a legal block in the back or something. Let's see what the head ref has to say as they're still talking about this.
Yep.
We are on a quiet radio station here.
Yeah.
Number 9, offense.
Oh,
Ooh.
yes.
Holding call.
Does it go back?
It will go back 10 yards. What is going on? Here's they're waiting for. Yeah, it'll be a holding call. Be back at the 42-yard line. Screen passes are running around, and it'll be incomplete. Was tipped by Remington Kelly at the line. Possibly a Dixie State player could have intercepted there and possibly got us the football back, but it'll be falling incomplete. And it'll be second down, and we believe 20, as we're confused as anybody on the other side of this radio about what is going on here.
I think the whistles are like not being blown really hard because they keep diving on the football every time it's on the floor. Every incomplete pass, people keep diving on that football.
Regarding the chains, it should be second down and 2. The previous penalty did not result in a first down.
Oh.
Second down and 2.
As there's more confusion in this game, I believe Chadron State has something to do with this. I'm just a radio guy, but I'm going to say to that as it'll be second down and 2 as they're clarifying the downs and the downs and how far they have to go. Is Jay Long, the Chadron State coach, is talking to the refs, and also Coach McClure is talking to the refs, trying to get clarification on what's going on here. It'll be second down and 2.
Yep.
Dylan Holst looking, throws it to receiver, and it was caught, but he got away from the pressure. He'll be down at about the 10-yard line. We'll get away, and we'll walk into the end zone for a touchdown. Brandon Fullerton, we talked about him a couple minutes ago. That'll be his second touchdown of the day. Got away from the pressure, got away from the tackles. He got away from Darren Jones, who's known for making the tackles. and that was not a good play as Mike Jones tried to grab him late. And again, Chadron State will go on a pending PAT, 22-11. Kick is up, and it is good. It is 23-11. 4:20 left to go as Chadron State will go back up. They will go back up 12 points here. Nothing to really worry about. Maybe Dixie State can get back a touchdown and possibly get more points here. But, excuse me on that one. But not the way you wanted to start the late part of this third quarter. Is now Dixie State is even in a bigger hole here as we'll stay here on the coverage.
I just think that that was just a poorly executed play by the defense. Bad coverage. That receiver ran down the field, and then Trayvon Watson came up for the tackle but missed the tackle. And then number 18 for Chadron State came up and had a big block on Mike Jones to where, his teammate was able to walk into that end zone.
Kickoff is here in a minute, and you were saying, I agree with you. Darren Jones, the one that was on the coverage to begin with, is not known for missing a lot of tackles. He's really known for one of the guys that makes a lot of tackles on the team. Just missed a basic tackle there and got away as the kickoff is away, and it's a short one again as teams are trading squib kicks here in the second half. And Isaiah Wooden Trayvon Watson was tripped up late on that one. He'll be down at about the 32-yard line. A good spot there for Dixie State. Let's see what they can do on this next drive. As I'm starting to fumble and lose my mind here. Chadron State is up 23-11, 4:16 left to go. It'll be first down and 10 for this Dixie State offense.
Great job to the offense. They're doing a great job. They've scored every offensive series this half.
Let's see what they can do as Yoshikawa motions over to the right. Dixie State showing the run, and they run it up the middle, and Seijay will get about 5 yards on that one as there's a little scuffle towards the end. A good little run up the middle, and I believe that was actually Lawrence Starks, not Seijay Luongo, as I keep getting them mixed up.
They're wearing the same clothes, they look exactly the same.
They basically do.
And it's hard to see those numbers on these screens.
Second down and 6 actually coming up for this Dixie State offense. Yet again, Yoshikawa motions over to the right. Fakes the handoff. And it was intercepted. Intercepted by Mike Sanders. Intercepted by Chadron State. He was trying to connect with Xavier Smith. Number 46 for Chadron State.
Tyler Lewis.
The redshirt junior linebacker. It will put the Chadron's offense back on the field, and the Dixie State defense, not a good thrown ball right there. He did not see that coverage coming, and Chadron State gets the turnover they need badly to take over this game.
If he had a little more air on it, Xavier Smith was his targeted receiver, and he was wide open and would have had a great run on that play.
I think Mike Sanders could have waited just about another second there. He had all the time in the world. Dylan Holst, the quarterback, looking, throws it, and is incomplete.
No.
Flags will come in late.
PI.
They're calling the PI. It'll be pass interference against Darren Jones of Dixie State.
Oh, actually, Jalen Moore. You're not allowed to touch the receiver when you're like 10 yards down the field, man.
Let's see what the call is. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're right. They're going to call a holding call, which only will make it 10 yards. Pass interference calls are usually 15. So we'll scrape by with about 10 yards. We'll give them that, but we'll get 5 yards back. The ball will be at the 29-yard line.
Our defense just needs to go back to what they did the first series of this half. Everybody was fundamentally sound. And if they do that again, we'll be able to stop them right now.
Chadron State looking to upset Dixie State and their chances of a possible RMAC Conference Championship. Hands the ball late to his running back, and he'll get away from the pressure, but Abraham Reinhardt, again, the leading middle linebacker for this team, got the stop there late as 22. Stevan Brown, the redshirt junior, tried to get away from him, could not, and Abraham Reinhardt with the tackle right there.
Yeah, good job by Abraham Reinhardt by not biting on that and able to be there to make that tackle.
Second down and 5 coming up for Chadron State. Dylan throws it, and it was incomplete is being called by the refs. It'll be 3rd down and 5 coming up. Dixie State looks good so far in this second half, but the one little play got away from them, and they dig themselves into a hole again. And let's see if they can dig themselves out of it.
I think they can.
2:25 left to go. 3rd down and 5 coming up for Chadron State in this third quarter as they try to put the put-away touchdown right here. Hands the ball out to his running back again, and Abraham Reinhardt and Shiloh Pritchard read that perfectly. As it'll be a 4th down play coming up here for Chadron State. What will they do? We're about to see it. Abraham and Shiloh read that play perfectly.
Yeah, they tried to do that halfback draw again, and this time got no gain.
4th down and 5 as they're going for it. The pass is incomplete, and it'll be turnover for Chadron State, and it'll be given back to Dixie State on the 26-yard line. Be 1st down and 10 for them. 2:18 left to go in this third quarter here.
Perfect. That was really great coverage by the defense. That's exactly what we needed them to do in this series. And now our offense has been doing so well. Let's hope that they still stay composed and are able to execute this series.
They're down by 12. Chadron State leading this game 23-11. 2:18 left to go. Be 1st down and 10 at the 23-yard line. Excuse me, I thought it was at the 26. As Mike Sanders is still the quarterback. Lines up in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his right and left. Sanders looking, throws it deep, and it was caught.
Nice.
It'll be down at the 40-yard line. Casey Allison, again, his 5th reception of the day. Mike Sanders, a beautiful pass right there in the middle of the coverage.
This is perfect. They've been doing the short passes, and now they're feeling more comfortable to be able to do those longer passes like what he just did on this last play.
1st down and 10 at the 40-yard line. Mike Sanders lines up in the shotgun again. 3 receivers to his right, looking that way. Throws it deep again. Has DeJuan Dancer for the 1st down. Will they mark him there?
Yes.
Yes, they will. They'll mark him even further than that, as there's a possible fumble on the play, but they'll mark him down there. He'll be at the 49-yard line.
I think the whistles are being blown. It just looks like Chadron State is going past the whistle. So they're not stopping. They blew the whistle, see right there, they blow the whistle, and then they still thought that the ball was live. I don't know why they thought it was live when the whistle was blown.
A Chadron State player limped off the field before the refs can blow the whistles. Mike Sanders has a 1st down and 10, throws a long ball, and it is incomplete, but there's a flag coming out. We believe it'll be a pass interference.
I hope so. This camera guy is moving the camera pretty slowly.
I wish we can get the other camera guy who's got the correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct image. We are waiting for the call here as the refs are gathering themselves up.
From what I saw, it looked like a pass interference, but it may have not been. Let's hope for a pass interference, though. Oh, it was.
It was. We didn't get a call from the refs. Nobody signaled a call. It doesn't look like a pass interference. We believe it is a holding call.
Oh, okay.
Holding call or pass interference, whatever which one was called, it gives Dixie State a fresh 1st down and 10 at the 36-yard line. So, yep, it was a pass interference call. McKinney, you were right on that one as Connor Miller motioned himself over to the right. 1st down and 10. Chadron State showing the pressure. Mike Sanders still stays in the pocket. He had Lawrence Starks open for a possible 10 yards there as Mike Sanders takes a kind of a late hit.
Come on, Starks.
Could have had that. Could have had about 8 yards right there.
Let me tell you, though, Mike Sanders was just standing in that pocket. He was just like, all right, who's open? And that offensive line gave him so much time. It's crazy.
Again, Chadron State showing the blitz. Throws it to his open receiver, and it was Giovanni Sanders, and he possibly got the 1st down. No, they'll mark him short. They'll mark him just about a yard short there. But Giovanni Sanders on a little curl route right there.
A nice stiff arm at the end to stretch out a few yards. Oh, he did get the 1st down.
They are going to call for the 1st down. 1:30 left to go in this third quarter. Dixie State still digging it and driving and kicking for this touchdown to make it a 5-point difference as they're down 23-11, down by 12 to Chadron State.
Yes, let's hope they score before the end of the quarter.
1:10 left to go here. Mike Sanders stands in the pocket again, dumps it off to Lawrence. Lawrence will get away from the pressure. He'll get to about the 19-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play. Second down and 4 coming up for for Dixie State. It'll be 50 seconds left to go in this quarter here in the third quarter.
I got to give big ups to the receivers and the running backs. When they go out for their passes, they catch the ball, and they're not allowing themselves to get tackled on the first contact. It takes about 4 guys to take each receiver down.
Second down and 5. Yoshikawa checks in as a tight end. Sanders takes a snap. Looking downfield, and it is incomplete.
No, okay.
We were looking for the pass interference call. Maybe could have thrown it there. No call is called. It'll be third down and 5 coming up for this Dixie State offense. Just a bit over the edge there. Over, we believe, Connor Miller in the end zone. That could have been a good touchdown right there to change the momentum of this game. Just about missed it there. Third down and 5 coming up. Yoshikawa is the tight end. Xavier Smith lines up in the slot. Take it. And it was batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Please go for it.
As the offense looks to stay on the field,
Yes.
McKinney Manu will get his wish. I believe it's his only wish. He probably prayed to God and said, my only Christmas gift is that Dixie State goes for it on fourth down.
Definitely, AJ Jurgensen, you're cool, man. You're a cool kid. But unless we're 10 yards and closer, no, I don't want you kicking the ball.
Wow. I hope AJ doesn't listen to this game afterwards.
I know, he's probably going to come and try and fight me. Please don't.
Mike Sanders motions over. Isaiah Wooden to the left. Takes a snap. Sanders looking. Throws it, and it'll be incomplete. No flags are thrown. It was tipped. Sanders will not get the first down. And that'll end the drive here for Dixie State as they'll turn it over to Chadron State as they'll have the ball on the 19-yard line as they again try to put the put-away touchdown to end this game.
Yeah.
And end the comeback by Dixie State as they're down 23-11 here late in the very, very late part of the third quarter. Dylan Holst takes a snap, has bunch set to his left, and it was down, and he got to receiver, and he'll be down at the 25-yard line. Number 3. Actually, there is no number 3 on this team.
Number 18.
No, I believe that was number 9. Yep, Tavon Wright. Just another drive stall there by Dixie State to kill themselves again. Just didn't work out as the quarter comes to an end. Chadron State will flip the field. 15 minutes are put back on the board here as we'll stay with the live coverage here. It'll be second down and 4. And what were you saying, McKinney?
Sorry, this was a pretty exciting third quarter. The Dixie State came out and scored 11 points, able to do pretty well on offense. In this fourth quarter, I feel that we need to go back to what we did in the beginning of the third quarter, because that first series was a perfect Trailblazer series. That's exactly what we need to do again.
I can agree with you on that. It'll be second down and 4 at the 25-yard line for Chadron State. They're trying to put the put-away touchdown here in the fourth quarter. Chadron State leads this game 23-11. Will this be the second loss? Will this be the third loss for Dixie State? Or will they try to come with a comeback? The ball is thrown in the air, and it is caught by the receiver. He got away from the pressure again.
That's just poor coverage by Dixie, or the Trailblazer secondary. They're just putting too much space in between them and the receivers. And when they see the ball pass to that receiver they're supposed to cover, they're too far away and they're able to catch the ball. And then from that point on, they're able to get even more yardage because of the lack of coverage that we're doing.
Jackson Dickerson, the receiver who caught it, is down for the moment here. But again, you mentioned that it looks like if Alex Lilliard just opens his eyes and looks up and looks for the ball, he possibly could have intercepted that.
Yeah.
And maybe could have ran it back for a touchdown. And we could be calling a Dixie State touchdown right now, but That is not the way it's going right now.
And right now there's an injured player. You know, we hate to see.
You never want to see an injured player.
Field.
These guys risk their complete lives on trying to play college football and trying to make it to the NFL, possibly, or any other part of the world.
Yeah, football is a great sport. It's also an extremely dangerous sport. You know, but let's hope that this kid he got up. He's able to walk off the field. So let's just hope that it was just a
minor injury. Yeah, let's hope it was just a simple minor injury.
Luckily, Go ahead. I said, luckily for us, our 2 injured players from earlier are back in the game, so it wasn't too crazy. They just must have gotten some kind of Charlie horse or something.
Probably something like that. As we get back to action here, first down and 10 for Chadron State. 14:50 left to go in this fourth quarter. You're just joining us. Chadron State is leading this game 23-11 over Dixie State. First down and 10 for them. As I hand the ball out again to Kevin Coy Jr. It'll be meshed up by Remington Kelly. It'll make a second down and 9 after a gain of 1. Going nowhere there at all. Remington read that play perfectly.
Yeah, great job by the defense. You know, right now we need the defense to step up, and you know we need turnovers or 3 and outs. We need to not allow Chadron to get down the field.
14 minutes left to go. Second down and 9 coming up for the Eagles offense. As they'll fake it and they'll throw it the little screen pass. And again, you miss the tackle. Again, Darren Jones will miss the tackle, but it'll be a gain for a short yards. It'll be third down and 6. Another wide receiver screen pass right there. Darren Jones just barely got the tips of the foot when Remington and everybody else started to come back and eat everybody up.
Wow, good thing that the Trailblazers do is that they all swarm to the ball.
That's one thing they teach you in football. Swarm to the ball. Swarm.
Yep.
Third down and 6 coming up for Chadron State. The pass is thrown, and it is incomplete
Nice.
late. It was broken up by Darren Jones, and it may have just opened the door for Dixie State to possibly come back in this game as there's 13:26 left to go on the clock. Dropped late by Tavon Wright.
Perfect.
At the end of the play, and the punt team will come out as Chadron State will try to pin Dixie State deep in their own territory, and Dixie State will try to bring the pressure and possibly block the punt. Maybe us saying block the punt here on the radio will get the block punt. No, it will not, as it will be fair catch by Simpson, and it will bounce into the end zone.
Nice.
It will be at the 25-yard line, I believe, is where they will start their next drive. This is an important drive to start with. McKinney, they're down by 12, 13-18 left to go in this fourth quarter, the final quarter. Can they complete the comeback? Can they possibly complete this comeback?
They definitely can. The question is, will they? Let's hope that they do, because, you know, as much as I love how Mike Sanders is so composed in the pocket, a lot of times the reason that we have some sorry turnovers is because he doesn't want to take that risk of running the ball. And sometimes you want that from a quarterback, you know, because he's had a lot of wide open lanes when everybody's been covered, and it's just been hard to watch.
Mike Sanders lines up as a quarterback, has a bunch set to his right, hands the ball to CJ, will try to get up the middle of the field. Yes, he will.
Nice.
He'll get more than that. He'll get up to the 30, to the 35, and we'll get to about the 42-yard line.
Wow, great run by CJ. He had a run down the left side. He was about to be met up by 3 other guys, and he did a shake and bake, and then ran 5 yards further, and then did a little spin move, and then ran for another 5 yards and got a good 20-yard gain on that run.
For a little short man, he's got a lot of oomph and a lot of power in that little 5'7", 180-pound body. I don't know how the junior does it, but he just does it. Hands the ball up to Lawrence Starks. He'll try to get up the middle of the field, and he'll get a gain of 2 yards. It'll be second down and 8 with the clock still running. There's 12:40 left to go. This offense needs to go.
Yes, this offense needs to not really run the ball right now. They just need to keep passing the ball, score a touchdown, you know, get the turnovers on defense or 3 and out, and then just make it quick. The quick passes are the best.
Second down and 8 coming up for this Dixie State offense. There's 2 receivers, 2 left. Mike Sanders fakes the handoff, throws it deep down the field, and is caught by Xavier Smith.
Yeah.
He'll be down at the 19-yard line.
Great job by Xavier Smith. He ran a quick post route. Oh, man, that was such a great catch.
If he would have stayed on his feet, I think he would have scored that touchdown there. And we would be talking about another Dixie State touchdown here as he will line up. Xavier Smith will line up in the slot. They'll hand the ball to CJ Lawrence. Actually, Lawrence will get up the middle of the field and will get to the 12-yard line.
I think, is that a first down?
They're marking him short. They'll call it a second down in inches.
Great.
They need to get the
first down.
They are calling it a first down. Yes, they are.
Great job. The offensive line, I can't say it more than once. I got to say it all day. But the offensive line blocking great, giving great holes for the running backs, and giving the quarterback enough time to make some passes. Ooh.
Lawrence Starks checks in as the quarterback. Lawrence Starks will take the snap. Easton Smith lined up as the quarterback. Will he stay in as the quarterback? We're going to look here. It looks like he will.
Nice.
Easton Smith is the quarterback right now. He checks in the game. We'll get you some stats on him as well. Easton Smith, actually, I have him right here in front of me. He's played 6 games. 58% of his passes have been completed. He averages about 143 yards a game as he lines up as the quarterback with CJ in the backfield. Fakes the handoff. Easton will keep it. We'll try to get out to the numbers, and there was nothing there. Was met by the Chadron State defenders as he limps a little bit off the field. You expected them to kind of go down where CJ and be a wide open lane.
Yeah, and they tried to do a read option play on that one.
As Mike Sanders will check in as the quarterback again. Hobbs will come out as the tight end. Xavier Smith will line up as the slot. Yoshikawa is the tight end. Let's see what we can do. It is a 3rd down and goal for Dixie State.
Ooh.
As Mike will be hit late, and Dixie State has a choice, and I think they're going to make the wrong choice. I would send out the kicking unit just to get a field goal. You would make it an 8-point game instead of making it a 12-point. You would make it a 9-point game instead of trying to keep it as a 12-point lead for Chadron State, as there's only 10 minutes left to go. To risk a 3rd down and goal only at the 9-yard line, I think is a big risk here for Dixie State offense.
Definitely. So right now, we need that score or the first down, but hopefully the score.
Hopefully the score. They need to get to the 2-yard line as the pressure comes, and it is caught for the touchdown. Casey Allison, his 3rd touchdown of the season.
Mike Sanders kept his composure. He was standing in that pocket, and then number 20, the middle linebacker, went bolting straight at him. And the fact that Mike Sanders still was able to stay focused and get that pass off is pretty awesome.
AJ Jurgensen lines up for the PAT. We are praying to God. God, be on our side right here, right now, as they're down by 5. Pending PAT can make this a 4-point game. The kick is up, and it is good.
Thank goodness.
It will be good. It will not be a 4-point lead. It will be a 5-point lead. 23-18. Chadron State leads this game. 9:55 left to go in this 4th quarter. The Dixie State comeback yet again. The comeback kids are on it again. Let's see if they can complete the comeback as we recap that drive. We'll stay here live on air.
Yes, man, that was great. Great job by the receiver core by being able to, run the routes perfect and be open, so that every time that Mike was able to throw a pass to them, they were able to catch it. Good job to Casey Allison for the touchdown. Man, this is amazing. Right now, they're about to kick the ball, but I hope that they do a high and short kick for the possibility for us to recover it.
A little squib kick would be nice right here to recover that. 9:55 left to go in the 4th quarter, That would be a momentum swing. That would be definite for this offense. I agree with you on that one. As AJ Jurgensen lines up for the kick. As I was proven wrong, they should have gone for it on that 4th down. I had no faith in this offense. Again, they do a little squib kick. No, they kicked it all the way down the field. We just could not see that coverage. Again, the cameras are being a little slow here today.
Yeah, they either have students or very old men running those cameras tonight.
Wow, way to call out kids and old people there, right there, McKinney. We're going to get complaints here to Radio Dixie in moments times, and Sean will be texting me that McKinney cannot be on the air no more, and I'm going to say that's disappointing.
Oh, man. We just need a big stop right now. 3 and out or a turnover by the Dixie State defense.
First down and 10 at the 29-yard line for this Chadron State offense. They have gone completely cold except for one moment in this second half. Can Dixie State finish the comeback? And it'll be incomplete.
Nice.
No flags are thrown on the field. It'll be second down and 10 coming up here for Chadron State Eagles. 9:45 left to go, and the game is still within 5 points. Second down and 10 coming up for Chadron State.
That was great penetration by the defensive line, and then great coverage by number 21, Jalen Moore, on that coverage.
Jalen Moore, the junior DB, the 6', 185 from Murrieta, California. Second down and 10. Dylan Holst looks towards receivers. He got a receiver open, but he'll be gained for a short amount there. It'll be third down and 9. A big third down here for Chadron State.
Great job by Wes Moyati and Trayvon Watson on making that tackle. You know, man, right now the defense is doing exactly what we need them to do. And for this third down, I hope that they continue to do what they're doing.
Chadron State looking to get a huge third down here against Dixie State defense. Dixie State is showing the blitz. Will they bring it? They're showing the blitz coverage. No, they're going to try to Statue of Liberty play again. And Dixie State was not fooled on that play there. It will be a fourth down and 10 with a running clock, 8:50 left to go here. Dixie State ready for that. Abraham Reinhardt, Remington Kelly, Shiloh Pritchard, they're on the stop. Dixie State got the stop they need to keep this comeback alive.
Yeah, that's exactly what we needed. We needed that 3 and out series, and they delivered.
Let's see what Chadron State does as they try to pin Dixie State deep. The kick is away. It'll be received by Xavier Smith at the 30-yard line. Hold the phone, folks. Tell that fat lady not to sing yet. This game is not over. 23-18, Dixie State trails Chadron State. 8:18 left to go in this fourth quarter here. We're going to stay here live on the coverage. McKinney, we've seen it so far. You and I called a couple games where they came back. South Dakota Mines, they had to come back against. They had to come back against New Mexico Highlands. They had to come back against Black Hill State. They were down late in that game. I was on that call as well. They were down 3, and Mike Sanders led the touchdown to win that game. Can Dixie State do the one thing they've always known to be doing, to come back and win this game? They've been doing it all season. Can they do it again?
Absolutely. You know, and what's crazy is that Dixie State is out here, and they are like, they have 5 wins right now, and all of them, none of them are blowouts. Well, they're all close wins.
Except the one against Fort Lewis. They won that one 31-3. That was a 28 win,
But besides that, all the other wins have been close games. And right now, you know, Dixie State, they just need to, you know, pound the ball down their throats and just keep doing those short passes and keep doing what works, because Dixie State, they can win, and they should win. They are definitely a better team, and we see it. They're physically look better, and the stats are better. They're just not scoring. That's the only bad thing. They're not scoring as much as they need to.
First down and 10, 8:18 left to go. I am going to be on the clock for the most of this last drive here. Xavier Smith motions himself over to the left. Bunch set, ready for Mike Sanders. Hands the ball to Sage. Sage tries to get up, and there was nothing there. He'll be taking back 8 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. Dixie State needs to go. That would have been a good play if the blocking would have held up and possibly could have got 10 yards there. Nothing there for them.
Nothing at all. Great job by Chadron State's defensive end. He was able to get right past the right tackle and make that tackle in the backfield.
2nd down and 14 coming up for this Dixie State offense. They cannot shoot themselves in the foot on this drive. They need the touchdown. Long play, and it was out of bounds. Isaiah Wooden almost had the incredible catch right there. It'll be 3rd down and 14. A quick 3rd down and 14 for this Dixie State offense.
That kid has hops.
Isaiah Wooden is known for his jump height.
Wow.
What is 7:39 left to go for the Trailblazers on this drive. They need this 1st down to keep this drive alive. They cannot afford to not get points on this drive.
Yeah, I think they need to go for a deep pass right now.
Xavier Smith is lined up in the slot. He's been known for those passes all day so far, as the coverage is perfect. Mike Sanders has all time. Throws it, and it'll be incomplete. Not what we wanted to call there, as Sanders took a late hit towards the end. They will send the punt team out. He had all day there and just didn't find anybody.
Yeah, such great blocking up front. You know, he had a lot of time. One thing is that the receivers were not open. The corners or the secondary for Shadron were able to just lock it down on that series.
4th down and 14. The punt team is out for Dixie State. 7:33 left to go. The punt is away and is a booming kick. It will be returned at about the 25-yard line. He will go nowhere as Dixie State tried to rip the ball out of his hands. As there's a little shoving and pushing towards the end, they got him up out of the air and tried to drive him down. Number 20.
Trying to rip the ball in that one.
Stevan Brown on the reception there. Got a gain about 5. 7:24 left to go in this game. It is a close one here. Chadron State leads Dixie State 23-18. 7:24 left to go. They're on their own 31-yard line. 1st down and 10. They're trying to look for the put-away touchdown. They've been trying to look for it all second half. They've been not able to get it as he motions over receiver to his right. Dylan Holst fakes the handoff, throws it, and he is caught by his receiver. He'll be down at about the 46-yard line. Brandon Fullerton, the reception on that one, has 2 touchdowns so far today, and it will keep the clock moving and the drive alive for Chadron State. They're trying to put the nail in the coffin on this drive and keep Dixie State away from the conference championship of the RMAC.
Right now, we just need a good push up front by the defensive line. We need that penetration, and we need that lockdown coverage that our corners can do and our linebackers can do. We just need them to do it right now.
We need the big turnover that this Dixie State defense is known for.
Exactly.
Dixie State showing the coverage. Fakes the handoff. Dylan Holst will connect with his receiver again. He'll be down at the 50-yard line. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this game. Brandon Fullerton again on the reception there. 2nd down and 4 coming up as Chadron State tries to milk the clock. They are not rushing to the line. They're not trying to push the tempo. They're trying to milk this clock. It will sit at 6 minutes left to go here. Dixie State showing the blitz. They bring it, and he'll be met up at the line of scrimmage by Remington Kelly. He will not allow him to get ahead.
Great job by the defense, man. They're trying to do. Shadow's trying to do a lot of trick plays, and right now, Dixie State is not letting them pull those off.
5 minutes and 37 seconds left to go. Again, Chadron State trying to milk the clock here, trying to waste as much time as they can, trying to make sure Dixie State offense does not get back on the field here.
Come on, defense. You guys can do it.
Dylan Holst lines up with 3 receivers to his right. Stevan Brown lined up in the backfield. Tavon Wright lined up on an island on the left. Brings the snap, hands the ball up to Stevan Brown. He'll get pushed out of bounds.
There we go.
Did he get the first down?
He shouldn't have.
He did not get the first down. They'll mark him 2 yards short. It'll be 4th down, and he stepped out of bounds as well. It will stop the clock. There's 5 minutes left to go in this game. It'll be 4th down and 2. And they're looking, and Chadron State, by surprise, by my shock, they're sending out their punt team. I would have thought they would have gone for it.
Yeah. Right now, Dixie State needs to take advantage of this opportunity and score. All we need is 6 points.
They will have to go the length of the field as the punt is away, and it is a good one. as they try to pin them late and deep. It'll be down at the 18-yard line. 4:34 left to go. We're going to stay here, right here on Radio Dixie 91.3. 4:34 left to go. McKinney, I'm going to bring it up again. You've been bringing it up all day. Is the comeback still alive?
Oh, I still think so. 4:34 is more than enough time to come back and score. What they need to do is, if they want to keep it close, well, it's going to be close no matter what. They need to pound the ball, run the clock, score at the end, hold it on defense.
That's the simple recipe right there. Is again, fumbleitis is running around in the studio today. McKinney came with it today and did not tell me.
My apologies.
First down and 10 at the 19-yard line. CJ Luongo is motion out of the backfield. Mike looking, throws it to Giovanni Sanders, and he dropped it late.
Dang it.
As he was trying to slide in for the catch. He would have been down at the 30-yard line, and that would have been a first down. It'll be second down and 10. Broken up late there. Yoshikawa will check out as a tight end.
Who comes in for him? Is that Hobbs?
I don't believe they're going to bring in a tight end. I think they're going to stick to wide receivers.
Miller.
So I think Miller checked into the game. Yes, he did. He's sitting at a trip bunch on the right. Deep ball down the field, and it is.
Caught.
It was caught.
Nice.
Yes.
That is exactly what we needed.
He'll be down at, they're marking him at the 30-yard line.
Oh, great
What a great pass by Mike Sanders. Well, who caught the ball? We were trying to figure out.
I can't tell if it was Smith or
No, it
Casey.
wasn't. I know it wasn't Xavier Smith. He's a little too short. I believe it was Casey Allison. Sanders again will throw it to Miller, and he'll be down at the 20-yard line. Not enough time for the chain gang to set up.
This is perfect. This is exactly what we need. You know,
4:12
we're rushing down
left
the field.
4:12 left to go. Sorry to cut you
No
off
problem.
there, McKinney. 4 minutes left to go as Chadron State looks to be on the upset side of this. Mike Sanders looking, dumps it off to CJ. He'll get to about the 14-yard line. It'll be gain of 6. 3:50 left to go here. Again, hold the phone. Dixie State Trailblazers fans, tell that fat lady not to sing yet. We're not going to let her sing yet. This game is still alive.
Yes, and it is so exciting right now. They're in the red zone at the 15-yard line.
Xavier Smith, Connor Miller, and Giovanni Sanders line up on the right. Casey Allison is lined up on the left. Chadron State showing the blitz. He dumps it off to CJ Luongo. Mike Sanders, he'll be down at the 9-yard line. I believe he was down at the 8, but I'm not the ref. Let's see.
Yeah, definitely.
He was down. He was down at the 9-yard line. We'll call it in between that. We'll meet in the middle there, McKinney. It does not matter. 3:12 left to go. He did not get out of bounds, which is a little awkward. I believe he did step out of bounds. Miller motions himself over to the right. He has Smith and Giovanni Sanders on that side. Sanders throws it in the middle of the field.
Nice.
It was caught by Smith. He'll be down at the 3-yard line. Third down and goal coming up for Dixie State offense here.
Right now, their passing game is going on point. You know, they're doing the long pass, short pass. And the short passes are wide open because the defensive coverage thinks that it's going to be another long pass.
Second down and goal, I thought it was third down. Smith, Allison, Sanders line up on the right side. Yoshikawa on the line. They hand the ball to Lawrence. He'll get up the middle, nowhere to go. He'll be met back at the 5-yard line. It'll be third down and goal.
Right there, there's just too many defenders, you know, in the way of Starks putting a bunch of obstacles in his way to run to get any kind of yardage.
Third down and goal at the 7. Dixie State needs this touchdown as Yoshikawa and Haas will check into the game. Isaiah Wooden on an island on the top of our screens. Lawrence Starks is the running back. Giovanni Sanders is the bottom of the screen. Hands the ball to Lawrence. He'll get up the middle of the field. He will get to about the 2-yard line. They are obviously going to go for it. They cannot afford a field goal here. A timeout is taken by Dixie State. 1:25 left to go. A great run by Lawrence Starks there.
Definitely. I think right now a great play for them to do is either one of those wildcat plays that they've been doing pretty well on, or bring in Trent Darms or Easton Smith and have them do like a quarterback draw, or not draw, like hike the ball, pound the ball right into the end zone,
So a read option.
Oh, no, just right where he he goes under the center, ball snap, and he just
quarterback sneak.
Quarterback sneak. That's
quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. You're on the 2-yard line. Just need enough of a push.
Yep. All he needs is that push from the center and the 2 guards, and for them to just manhandle whoever's in front of them, and they get that 2 yards. Woo.
This is the game.
Touchdown.
This is the game right there. Not to cut you off, McKinney. This is the game right here, folks. 4th down and goal. They're on their own 2-yard line. 1:25 left to go.
This is a nail biter, Martin.
Chadron State was the one that took a timeout, which was a little awkward, I believe. I thought Dixie State took the timeout. This is the game here, right now. What are they going to call? Mike Sanders is still on the field, but he is under center.
Oh, we got the heavy package in. We're running
Heavy package. CJ Luongo in the backfield.
No,
Run it, and he'll not be good. He'll be stopped. Chadron State will get the stop.
And I think that's
on
it.
4th down. Not the right call I would have gone with. I think everybody knew that they were going to run it. Not the way Dixie State wanted this game to end. They wanted it to end with a touchdown. I think they should have stuck with the pass. It was working.
Sad game.
Not over yet. There's still 1:21 left to go. I see the sad face on your look. Scrape that sad face off your face. This game is still alive. Let's see what they can do. If they can get a safety here, they can get the ball back.
Get that safety. Let's go.
As Kevin Coy will get down to the 3-yard line, and Dixie State will obviously call a timeout here. Or not. Why are they not calling a timeout? Coach McClure, as the minute runs.
Timeout?
As it runs to a minute, no timeout is still not called.
Well, they have to run a play, so.
They have to run a play, or otherwise they're going to take a delay of game, but I believe they'll take a delay of game here. Try to run down and milk it as much as they can. They will run the play.
Come on. Come on, defense. Yes.
Did he get the safety? No, he did not. He got out of the end zone.
Now timeout?
No timeout. If it's called now, it's kind of too late for that. You could have called it when there was 1:14 left. There's no point in calling it now, Coach McClure.
Oh. Is there a penalty? Nope.
We missed the call right there. The rest we're talking. As this looks like it's all about wrapped up here.
I think it was an official timeout.
It may have been an official timeout.
Oh, he's about to talk, I think.
Nope. Nothing there. We're just checking in.
Just kidding. 29 seconds left.
We're as disappointed as you are, Trailblazer fans. They will drop to 5-3 on the year.
Unless they get a safety out of nowhere.
Unless they get a fumble or something to change the momentum. I don't think that's going to happen. If it does, we are going to lose our minds in the studio. I promise you that.
Yes, definitely. Wow. They're so close.
We were 3rd down and 10. Dylan Holst takes the snap, hands it off to his running back. He'll get up the middle of the field. He'll get away from the pressure.
No.
He'll get up the field, and he is gone.
No.
He'll be to the 30, to the 20.
Stop him.
To the 10, 5, touchdown. That is the dagger. That is the game there.
That was a 98-yard run.
Chadron State will walk out with the win in front of their home crowd. That is not what we needed. It is all but over.
Got a shout out to Chadron State. They came in and they wanted the game and they got it. They came in, they played and executed the best game that they can do, and they ended up taking the W.
A pending PAT here will make it 30 to 18. The kick is up, and it is good. Chadron State leads this game 30-18 with 16 seconds left to go on this clock.
We're going to have one more kickoff.
One more. We're going to stay here live.
You never know. They might catch it and run it back, and there might be 2 seconds left.
You know what? I am not as hopeful and as hopeful as you are. I will give you credit. You are a very hopeful man on this one. I say this is all but wrapped up here. 11 seconds left to go.
30-18.
Chadron State leads it 30-18. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that Dixie State is completely out of the hunt. It will drop them to 4. It will drop them to 5-2 in RMAC play. They will be tied with Chadron State, who was 4-2 coming into this game. 4-2 in RMAC play. They'll be tied with Chadron State for third in the conference. As Mike Sanders just throws it to Casey Allison out of bounds at the 49-yard line with 5 seconds left to go. I would expect just a basic Hail Mary call.
Yep. Send all 3 receivers down the field.
Excuse me, that was Devin Osborne at the top. The 6'7" Megatron who has hands up butterfingers. He knows it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Sanders takes a snap. Looking downfield, looking, throws it down deep down the field, and it is intercepted late. Chadron State will pull off the win late. They'll win this game 30-18. It will push them to 5-2 on the year and 5-2 in RMAC play. It will drop Dixie State to 4-5-3, 5-2 in RMAC play. This game is completely wrapped up. We will come back here in 2 minutes with the post-game show here on Trailblazer Network on Radio Dixie 91.3.
You're listening to Dixie State Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and at stgeorgeford.com. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln, your neighborhood Ford dealer, and the title sponsor for all DSU athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3. It's back to the action for DSU Athletics, brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. We now return you to Dixie State Athletics.
Welcome to the Trailblazer postgame show here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Obviously, this game did not go the way we wanted as Dixie State falls to Chadron State 30-18. It will drop them to 5-3 overall on their record, 5-2 in RMAC play. This will push Chadron State to 5-2 overall on their record and 5-2 in RMAC play. Dixie State and Chadron State are now tied for third in the conference as games coming up next week. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. But let's get to the stats here real quick. As Chadron State had more on the rush than we did. They had 177 yards on the rush. We had 104. We had 36 first downs. They had 14. They had 296 yards through the air. We had 527 yards. We called 92 plays for 631 yards total offense. They called 60 for 473. We had this time possession by them by 11. We had 35 minutes of the time clock. They had 24, but what really hurt us, as we're looking at it on the screen, 4-14 on third downs and 1 for 5 on third. They were 4 for 14 on third down conversions and 1 for 5 on fourth downs as they were trying to score it on the last play of their drive, where it was a 4th down and 2 on the 2-yard line going into the end zone. They lose this game again, 30-18. They fall to Chadron State here on the game. We'll talk about more about it. Let's talk about some games going on in the RMAC. Western State can finally say this for the first time this season. They win a game.
Nice.
They beat Fort Lewis 40-20. Western State is now 1-7 on the year. It drops Fort Lewis to 1-7 on their record as well. Game up and going right now. Colorado State Pueblo leading Adams State 22-15. A really close game there. We will have Adams State later in the year, so that team, we're looking at that for both RMAC standings and an impossible matchup with Adams State later in the year. CSU Football leads this game 22-15 with 4:30 left to go in the third quarter there. The big game of the day, a big game that mattered a lot to Dixie State. Colorado School Mines on top of Azusa Pacific, 35-17. The fourth quarter is just about to get underway there. Colorado School Mines comes in this game 7-0 in 7-0 in overall record. They're 6-0 in RMAC play. Azusa Pacific, an outsider out of the conference. They were playing in the Pac West. They're 5-2. They control their own destiny in their conference. But another great game that's going on. Colorado Mesa leads Black Hills State 24-23. This game also has our RMAC conference standings matters. Colorado Mesa trying to stay alive as much as they can. Their odds are pretty much done. They're winning this game 24-23. 3:32 left to go in this game. But let's get back to the game we just called. McKinney, obviously not the way we wanted it to go in this game. What are some of your thoughts after this game?
Oh, well, I can definitely say that if you were to look and not look at the scores and look at the stats, you would have thought that Dixie State won. Leading the way with 527 receiving yards, and they had 631 total yards, and Shadron only had 473 yards. And it's really sad. Like Dixie State, they are really good. Like I said earlier in the pregame, they play down to their competition. And we would hope that when they play good teams, they would play up to their competition. But we haven't seen that happen because they got whooped by Pueblo. But one thing I can say is that last week they were weak in the offensive line front. This week, offensive line did a great job. They were great blockers. They opened up holes for the runners to go through. I would say that Mike Sanders at least had average 5 seconds every play to get a pass off. So the offensive line, they can go home and not be ashamed by what they did because they were the highlights of the game. Them and then I can't say no name receivers. The receivers you really don't hear much stepping up today and doing big things. You had Hobbs come in. He had a few good plays. Yoshikawa, he came in, had some great plays. And then you got Miller and Sanders, these names that you don't normally hear where they were able to be dependable when the star or the head receivers weren't. And our defense is our defense. The secondary, we have some exceptional athletes in the secondary, but there's just too many missed tackles, and those missed tackles led to huge plays, led to reasons why we ended up losing. And even though they had less yardage than us, they had more touchdowns, obviously, because they won. And but one thing that I am very, very, very angry about, that I don't know if angry is the right word, very infuriated about is the kicking. Like if the field goals weren't missed today, we would have only lost by 6 points. And
if we didn't miss the field goals, we wouldn't have needed to go for it on the fourth down.
Exactly.
We could have won this game. We could have got
the
better.
field goal. Yeah.
Yeah, the 2 field goals we missed. That's 6 points right there. We could have been winning the game right there, and Shadron State could have tried to get back in the game right there. So
yeah, and we would have been leading, and then we would have been leading them by 4 points if we would have done the field goals correctly. And that's one thing is that when you're a kicker and your job is to kick, I said it earlier, you got to make your kicks no matter what, because that's your specialty. You're not a defensive lineman. You're not a linebacker. You're there to kick. And if you can't do a kicking job, you got to find another kicker to do the kicking job. And that's I feel like that was a big part of why we lost today, was the missed field goals. And, of course, we didn't execute the plays we wanted to. And we had too many penalties that were crucial in the red zone. Like we were literally on the 5-yard line in the red zone twice in the beginning and got pushed back 15 yards each time we were in the red zone in the beginning. But that's my thoughts.
I don't blame you.
Great job to the offensive line and those guys that normally aren't out there, being the stars of the game, on being able to be reliable today. And especially one name that we heard a lot tonight was Sebastian, or this afternoon. Sorry, it was Sebastian DiMartini. He did really well up front, and the defensive line made a pretty good presence up front, and they just did a great job. Although we came up with the loss, I hope they keep their heads up and just finish off the season as good as they can.
We will see about that as we look at the standings here right now. As we mentioned it before, this will drop Dixie State to 5-2 overall in their conference record. Chadron State will go 5-2 as well. We are tied with them third in the conference. This will drop them to overall record of 5-3. This will push Chadron State to 5-2 on their record. So maybe the luck of this team is starting to rub off. Obviously, they've had 2 losses in the last 3 games and almost a possible loss last week. Maybe they're starting to rub off. Maybe we're starting to fall back to what we're used to knowing as the football team. But maybe we're just, playing too hard. But overall, I think it was a good game so far. Upcoming schedule for Dixie State, right as we wrap it up here. They will have to go to Grand Junction, Colorado next week as they'll play Colorado Mesa next week at 7 o'clock. We'll have that game live here on Radio Dixie 91.3. Hopefully McKinney Manu can join me on that broadcast. Then the homecoming game against Colorado School of Mines, November 3rd. We will also be on that call. Me and McKinney will be on the call for Radio Dixie on that game as well. And we'll wrap up the season. Final game of the season for Dixie State will be at Adams State. That game will be at 1 o'clock. So we'll be here for the next 3 calls of the season with you guys here on Radio Dixie 91.3. McKinney, I hope you can join me on all those 3 calls. We had a great game today. Though we lost today 30-18, I still believe in this team. I still believe they're a team that can fight, that can keep winning, that can keep showing that they're a tough, gritty team. Maybe the guys are looking down on us. Maybe something can happen. Maybe we can keep coming out, but who knows? Thank you for listening to us here on Radio Dixie 91.3, for joining us for another Trailblazer game here between the Chadron State Eagles and the Dixie State Trailblazers. Have yourselves a good day.
You've been listening to Dixie State Athletics on Radio Dixie 91.3, brought to you by Ken Garv St. George Ford Lincoln. For more information on Dixie State Athletics, DixieStateAthletics.com. Thanks for listening to Radio Dixie 91.3.